a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
We are going to the Super Bowl.
It's time to eat, boys.
Super Bowl, here we come.
Can you believe it?
We're just a really good football team that's tough and connected.
Welcome to the dark side.
Power of 12 is one is real.
Whole city going up like it's our time.
All the 12s across the country and all the 12s across the globe.
You know how we do it.
The only place to hear Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO Newsradio.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
We've got all your Super Bowl hype in just a moment, but first we're going to have real-time traffic, and we are looking... Hold on, let me update my map. We're looking pretty average for your Monday, which means not so great on I-5 and not so great on 405 northbound. So we are seeing slowing starting from Boeing Field into downtown Seattle. It's not totally locked up, but it is off and on very difficult getting into downtown Seattle. Some of that's spilling on to your alternate routes like 99, the West Seattle Bridge. From southbound, the slowing starts all the way in Shoreline, all the way down to Seattle. We do have a couple of crashes in the southbound direction. Let's get some travel times. Linwood to Seattle is about 24 minutes right now. Federal Way to Seattle is about 30 minutes. And we will check that traffic again in the next half hour. This report brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery, and we are just 12 days away from a Seahawks Super Bowl appearance. And the NFL is denying an internet conspiracy theory that they predetermined the Seahawks and Patriots would meet in Super Bowl 60 months ago. Here's KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
At the center of the conspiracy theory, a graphic originally published by the NFL in September, depicting players from all 32 teams on a road toward Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Leading the pack, Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold and New England Patriots quarterback Drake May. Reaction on the NFL Network's Rich Eisen show.
That's fantastic. Darnold and May are up front. Up front.
The NFL says there is no conspiracy. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Amazon is closing all 72 of its Amazon Fresh and Amazon Go grocery stores nationwide. The company made the announcement Tuesday saying they will focus instead on expanding Whole Foods and online grocery orders and delivery. The final day for most of the stores will be February 1st. It's not clear how many jobs may be lost. GeekWire reports Amazon is trying to place workers in other roles like fulfillment and operations. Meanwhile, we're also waiting on potential layoffs at the corporate level at Amazon. Last week, Reuters reported 14,000 jobs could be cut as soon as today. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha.
Now, Amazon is one of our region's largest employers. A spokesperson for the company says it's making organizational changes. A memo posted on Amazon's website says it's staying nimble by making these cuts. That's the word from Senior VP Beth Galati as the company tries to cut 30,000 from its payroll. And layoffs coming in divisions like Amazon Web Services, retail, Prime Video, and people experience and technology departments.
And a former Starbucks executive is suing the company, alleging wrongful termination and sex discrimination. Janice Wazak says she was fired after refusing to provide false information about a new drink-making system known as the Siren System. The lawsuit claims the equipment caught fire during testing and posed potential health and safety risks. Wazak's suit says she raised concerns with executives and Starbucks later fired her. We did hear from the company this morning. They denied Wazak's allegations, saying they take safety and customer quality very seriously. They say Wazak was fired for conduct that violated the company's policies. Protests and rallies have erupted in Seattle and nationwide, demanding an end to immigration crackdowns.
It is our time as the people to get out and speak and not be silent.
That woman spoke to KIRO 7 TV outside the federal building at a demonstration yesterday. This afternoon, the King County Council will consider a motion calling on Congress to ensure any funding bill for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security includes meaningful and significant guardrails. More and more local and state government agencies are pressuring Congress to use their power of the purse to put greater controls on ICE and border agents. Now let's get a check of your weather. We are going to have a dry day despite those clouds hanging around. High of 51 degrees. Again, mainly cloudy. Tomorrow, we are looking like we're going to get some showers, the first showers of this month approximately. And then more rain Thursday, Friday. Looks like a dry day on Saturday. High today of 51 degrees. Tomorrow it's going to be 50. Right now it is 35 degrees in downtown Seattle. And I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Tuesday. Well, I'm still on cloud nine, Ursula.
Yeah.
Those Seahawks, NFC champions, heading to the Super Bowl. So there's nothing that can stop my good groove right now. Good morning, Ursula.
Keep it up for the next 2 weeks. Well, Seattle has topped yet another national list. It turns out we're officially the most expensive city in America to host a Super Bowl party. So a little after 9:30 this morning, we're going to tell you how much it really costs to host a shindig here and why staying on your couch might be the cheapest Super Bowl ticket you're going to find.
How come everything lately that when we talk about Seattle, it's always the most expensive? Every topic.
I'll try to find where we are the cheapest. Yeah, I'm going to need your all's help on that.
Always go out and walk.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
All right.
A walk in the Arboretum
is
still free. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476 888-973 KIRO.
Ursula's top stories of the day brought to you by Pendergast Law.
Washington's governor and the state attorney general are now drawing a hard line over what they're calling out-of-control ICE tactics, and they're warning that they are ready to sue if anything like Minnesota's crackdown hits here.
As angry as we both are, we are focused on preparing to the fullest extent possible for a similar escalation by ICE against our will here in Washington state.
Governor Bob Ferguson and AG Nick Brown blasted masked federal agents, warrantless home entries, and last weekend's killing of 37-year-old Alex Preddy in Minneapolis by ICE agents. Nick Brown says Trump's deportation push is making the country less safe and is traumatizing communities.
What we have seen thus far is truly unprecedented in the way that they have approached and abused their federal authority, the way that they ignore court orders, the way that they seem to disregard the Fourth Amendment. But we will be prepared to respond to anything that happens here in which we can intervene and act on behalf of the people of Washington state.
And during their news conference yesterday, the AG also said what's happening in Minnesota is not happening in a vacuum.
The reason that the president feels so comfortable violating the United States Constitution is because since day one, he has been acting that way, and Congress has let it pass. From the beginning, Congress has really been scared, fearful, in hiding to push back against this president. And he can act with disregard for our Constitution today because of what happened a year ago. Because from day one, he started with violating the United States Constitution by signing an executive order to try to end birthright citizenship. What has been so important over the last year is to try to push back against that. That is why we've been involved in 50 lawsuits to date, because we need and we understand that in order to prevent and do everything we can to mitigate the harms like we're seeing in Minnesota, we need to push back against every single thing that is unlawful and simply not look away and accept it as normal.
And Gee, I want to point out that Republican Representative Jim Walsh, who is the head of the state GOP party, he is firing back. He accuses the governor and the AG of choosing escalation, inflaming protests, and putting a target on our state, and he warns that they are encouraging confrontation, that was a quote, and creating the conditions for chaos.
Yeah, who Yeah, when Jim Walsh speaks, we know, when Jim Walsh speaks, I know where his place, I know where it comes from. And it comes from a place of hate, division, and what we continue to see what's wrong in this country. But let's put political stuff aside. Ursula, I'm going to say this in a simple way and take a little something off this fastball that I had earlier. All of this keeps happening in America because so many of us have become way too comfortable as long it is being them being stopped and questioned and harassed. And as long as it doesn't slow down us and our commute and what we have to do for our families, as long as they don't knock on our doors and harass our loved ones. But history shows us that it doesn't stop on its own. Silence isn't neutral. Comfort isn't innocent. We have to continue to, like you are doing every day, we're talking about this, and I'm going to try to continue to have hope, Ursula, that some of this sign is a thing of things getting better for tomorrow. But I hope that that is something I'm not being naive about. I hope that this is really on course for change.
I do want to give some people hope because coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, we will talk about this because perhaps angry citizens, sinking polls, and a few brave Republicans have convinced the president to rethink his ICE crackdown. So we'll break down some of the overnight changes in what's new at 10. But I want to point out a couple of things and just respond to Representative Walsh. Who's saying they're choosing escalation. No, the escalation is what's happening with these ICE operations. Now we have 2 people who were killed, and we're hoping that there's going to be a fair and thorough investigation of both of those incidents. But the governor and the AG say they cannot stop ICE from operating here. So what they are saying is they want Washington residents to watch ICE closely, to film encounters, to document everything, and to take the evidence to the courts, because right now it's the courts that are doing something. Nick Brown was exactly right. So far, Congress has somehow not been able to, out of fear, whatever it is, has not been able to stop anything. I did not hear them say, let's confront agents. That is not what you want. You don't want to block arrests. You don't want to interfere with operations. But they're saying, turn your outrage into lawsuits, not into street fights. That's what I'm hearing. They're also pushing for this bill, which I'm curious. I can't remember what you said, but this idea, and I'm sure you're in agreement.
About not rehiring ICE?
No, you and I had said the same thing, that we think that went too far. Yeah. But prohibiting law enforcement officers from wearing masks. So they're pushing for that as well here in Olympia. Yeah. I am completely in favor of, most law enforcement don't wear masks.
Right. Yeah, we got a history of this in this country of those that wore masks. Interesting. Yeah, I don't agree with that as well. And I'm glad you spoke up on Jim Walsh. And I want to say some more things about that man. Jim Walsh has never, I've seen what Jim Walsh looks like. So that lets me know that he has no clue. Like, you could read it in a book. You can hear about it. He has no clue what it is like for people of color to be demonized in this country. He has no clue, probably no family members that have gone through any of this kind of stuff and this behavior, this continued behavior that gets disguised. Nothing new is happening under the sun in the United States of America. It's just different characters in which this is happening. Everything that is happening right now is a symptom of people just thinking that it cannot happen here. We were in history. We learned what happened years ago before World War II and why World War II came. And people like even myself would say those things could never happen in the United States. But when you have a Congress that is scared, won't say a word, this is why we are here right now.
And hopefully at 10 o'clock, we can point to some signs where we might be seeing some change. But let's move on because Amazon, did you hear about this? They're officially pulling the plug on their homegrown grocery stores. The company this morning announced that it's going to be closing all Amazon Go and Amazon Fresh locations. We're talking about 72 stores nationwide. And instead, they're going to refocus on Whole Foods, which is doing really well, and grocery delivery through Amazon.com. So according to GeekWire, most of the stores will shut their doors this Sunday, including 11 locations in the Seattle area. And one of those, do you remember when we were talking about the original Amazon Go store on 7th Avenue, where the company first rolled out its Just Walk Out cashier-less tech? That was back in 2018. Well, yeah, that's closing, of course, too. Amazon says it has spent a decade trying out these stores and doing experimentation, but just couldn't make the math work at scale.
Right.
And the company insists this is not them moving away from grocery altogether.
Yeah.
Again, they're doing really well with the Whole Food sales and same-day grocery delivery. They're not exactly sure how many workers are going to be affected, but they're going to be offering severance, and they're going to try to place employees in other roles. Was this just a bad idea, or what do you think happened?
I mean, nobody goes into Amazon Go stores except for inside the stadium. By the way, shout out to them stores in the stadium. It works really well. Yes. In and out. But on the streets and down in Puyallup, nobody goes. Hold on, let me stop. Have you been in one?
The one in the stadium.
But outside of the stadium?
No.
But question, why don't you go
I don't
in there?
need it. I mean, it's cool, high tech. Do you remember I was the person who went to when they had the brick and mortar Amazon store at U Village, and I was hacked off that I couldn't pay cash.
That's right.
I have the wrong demo. I am not the person that's going to really be, oh, this is cool. I can walk in and out, and they're going to know what I got. I mean, it's bad business. The grocery margins are razor thin, as the grocery stores will tell you. Theft is rampant. Customers are very price sensitive. So Amazon just couldn't make that work. So good for them. They're going to say, you're very much into grocery delivery, though, right?
No, not really. No,
You used to do it a lot more, it seemed to me.
No. Only some staples, right, that you bring in. I'm not getting my meats, not getting the produce there. But if you're doing something and you're cooking or something and you want some barbecue sauce or something simple, we get sent to you. Or it's like, oh, my goodness, I forgot to get some chips or something. You'll get that. But it's not a mainstay. I think most of us like to kind of go to the grocery store. And one more thing before you go. I just want to say this. What grocery stores really do in the community besides give you, that's a place you go buy groceries? The reason why these Amazon Go stores don't work, because when someone gets off work and they go to the produce section, they know Jane. When they go to the meat section, they know Jim. When they go to, when it's time for prom or it's time to get the corsages and things, it's the same person that helps them out. There's community in grocery stores. Everybody going to the Amazon Go and you ain't talking to nobody, you just in and out?
Yeah.
I got no time for that.
Okay, let's move on because we've got some really sad news for country music fans in Washington. You texted this yesterday. Watershed, the music festival, is canceled for this year. The festival announcing that it's taken a hiatus after 13 straight summers at the Gorge, calling it 13 incredible years of country music and community. And they're telling fans any future plans will be announced accordingly. For those of you who are not familiar with Watershed, it started back in 2012. It became a 3-day summer staple. Superstars, newcomers, all local country acts to the Gorge. Last year's headliners included Jason Aldean, Dierks Bentley, and Bailey Zimmerman. So what we're not hearing is the reason for why it's been canceled, but they're just saying it might not be the end forever.
Well, look. It's not a thing that I go to, but it is big news. There's a lot of people that pulls up to Watershed. I heard Watershed is a very good time. I actually feel sorry for those people that go there. I know back in the day I would go to Sasquatch. That was kind of my thing to go to that festival. But, when you start hearing about things going away, and it's got to be kind of sad a little bit.
It is.
Some people
you know
look
what I'm
forward to
really
that.
sad about?
What's that?
Did you hear, and we didn't get a chance to talk about this a couple of days ago, did you hear that Teatro Zanzani has shut down again?
I've been there twice. I've done it twice.
I've done it more than twice. I used to go on a regular basis.
You did?
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know what Teatro Zanzani is, it's the dinner theater circus, and they announced that they were going to cancel their Seattle show this week. They're going to cut their Chicago run short. They laid off about 90 staffers. And they're saying that attendance never rebounded after that pandemic, especially. And it's also very expensive to pull off these productions, and living costs have finally made the numbers impossible. But I remember when they were in Lower Queen Anne.
Yeah.
And, that was back in 2017. And then they went to Woodinville, then they went to Redmond, then to Soto. And the final Seattle curtain call was last weekend. And so folks will be getting refunds for the canceled shows. But that one, to me, it was like, oh, man, I enjoyed that.
Let me ask you this. And this goes for everybody. During the pandemic, we would hear and we would talk about that there's going to be a new normal. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it fair to say we are living in the new normal that's happening right now? And here's my question. Are you liking some of this? Are you liking some of this new normal? Because when I say
I'm
new,
not.
Yeah.
I'm not. You know that I try fighting it every day. Like, I do. I know. You always talk about me living my best life. I'm out there trying to support these businesses that are hanging on by a thread. Mm-hmm. Okay. Coming up at 9:30, we are going to tell you about one business that you might be really happy. Or if you're a video lover, you're going to be really happy about it. Coming up at 9:30. But I need to bring up one more thing.
What's that?
Because speaking of new normal, maybe ticket prices and flight prices are the new normal, because Seahawks fans thinking about flying to California for the Super Bowl are getting a serious case of sticker shock.
Yeah, they are.
And I know you looked into, we talked about ticket prices. You know that those are going to be
2 hours and 15 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Flight. That flight down
for a flight for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
Right now, if you want to leave on Thursday and come back on Monday, you're looking at about $1,200 right now. That's what that flight is, round trip. Usually, you can get that from down in San Francisco. You're looking at about, a good deal would be high threes and then 400-ish for that. But yeah, that's how it is. The bottom line is this. Prices are going up. Alaska Airlines has added flights. Delta Airlines has added flights. Now, it sounds generous, right? And by the way, the prices aren't just going up, Ursula, because planes became more expensive this week. Prices are going up because everybody's excited. And you know what happens when you're excited? It makes people emotional. And you know what happens when you're emotional? You don't care what the price is, and you start just dropping dollars. But this goes to show you this is what happens in America. And a reminder, when demand goes up, the fairness goes out the window. Now, this topic really bothers me. And so to get to the bottom of this is what everybody should do. Everybody should jump in a minivan, all get together and drive 12 to 13 hours down to San Francisco. You're saving a lot of...
Okay,
what?
This is coming from the guy who says time is money. And are you going to... Okay, it's a lot of fun to drive if you have an endless amount of time.
I am being very serious. A road trip, everybody right now, if you've ever been on a road trip in your life, you never forget road trips. And so the time is money with the family. You go down there, you go find you a nice little budget hotel 40, 50 minutes away.
When was the last time you went to a budget hotel? I love what you're saying.
You're messing up a groove here. I'm trying. Messing up a groove here.
You were giving me grief about the motels that we stay at that have the free breakfast.
Hey, but I'm just trying to have families be able to go down there.
This is true.
And one last thing, you go and hang out, Ursula. You don't need to go to the game. Just go down there and be around the energy. It'd be awesome.
Because if you were planning to go to the game and fly down there and stay at a hotel, altogether you're looking at $8,000 to $9,000 per person. That's before food or souvenirs.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll keep trying to give you ideas.
9:47 is Would You Rather? And up next, are you throwing a Super Bowl party? Well, you might be spending a pretty penny in Seattle. We'll explain that next. Gee Ursula.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan. Presented by Carter Subaru.
More like Choke Point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the 3s every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. DayandNight.net. Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
The Boat Show, the Boat Show, the Big Seattle Boat Show.
The Big Seattle Boat Show starts this Friday. It's the best time to buy with big selection, big discounts, and big fun for everyone. It's a big deal. Presented by Sundance Yachts and Port of Seattle. Make it a date Friday evenings with Boat Show After Dark, featuring unforgettable ambiance, music, food, beer, and wine. Details and discount tickets at seattleboatshow.com.
How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and the results can last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. Using your own natural hair, Advanced Hair can restore your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning. All backed by Advanced Hair's guarantee. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. You know, life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just keep the kids' softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try the tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
Last year, she wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that with Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder. Now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CODE to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
At Skyline Seattle, senior living never sounded so good. We celebrate the arts and are building enviable cultural partnerships like the Ballardet Quartet from the Seattle Chamber Music Society and the Seattle Art Museum. We provide our residents all the energy Seattle offers. Make your home at Seattle's only true life care community. Culture has an address. Skyline. Discover it all at skylineseattle.org.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Encouraging news from Boeing, which continues its turnaround. Fourth quarter results show the company's airplane deliveries last year were the highest since 2018. That helped drive revenue. The company reported operating cash flow of $1.3 billion versus a loss of $10 billion the year before. Boeing has struggled with major safety issues, including the door plug blowout of 2024 and increased regulatory oversight. There have also been multiple strikes over the last year and production issues. But in 2025, the company made several high-profile sales and increased 737 production to 42 per month from 38 planes a month. Boeing is one of Washington's largest employers. Say goodbye to free seating on Southwest Airlines. Starting today, all seats will be assigned. CBS News senior transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
Southwest told us they ran more than 1 billion simulations around boarding to test out the theory as to what would board the planes the best. They wanted to keep boarding to about a half hour, which is faster than most airlines.
A chief federal judge in Minnesota orders ICE chief to appear in court to explain why detainees have been denied due process. Chief Judge Patrick Schultz says the Trump administration has failed to comply with orders to hold hearings for detained immigrants. The Trump administration is removing more history exhibits from national parks. Here's CBS correspondent Michael Wallace.
Glacier National Park has been ordered to remove a description of how climate change is shrinking the glaciers. The Grand Canyon was told to take down a display about the forced removal of Native Americans. An exhibit about George Washington's slave ownership has already been removed from Independence National Historical Park in Philadelphia, where Paul Steinke with the Preservation Alliance says visitors are being denied the full story of our history.
It's only by understanding that full story that we can improve and get better over time.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
For the first time in 800 days, there are no more Israeli hostages being held in Gaza. Israel has recovered the remains of the final hostage, Ron Gavili. With the return, phase 2 of the Gaza ceasefire deal can begin. Now let's get a check on your drive, and we will start in the north end because southbound I-5 is a really tough go this morning still. Let's check Linwood to Seattle is 24 minutes. That actually seems a little bit fast for what I'm seeing because it looks blocked up from Shoreline all the way down into, you only get a break right around 520 into downtown, and there's traffic spilling out of the 520 bridge in the east and west direction as well. I-5 northbound's a lot better. You have slowing starting from about mid-Beacon Hill getting into downtown, but it's not nearly as bad as the southbound direction. Renton to Federal Way to Seattle is a 30-minute drive. Renton to Bellevue on 405 is 21 minutes. And Bothell to Bellevue on 405 southbound is 21 minutes. This report brought to you by KIRO Newsradio. And we are going to stay cloudy and dry today with a high of 51. It's chilly right now. 36 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery with KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Text us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And as I mentioned, Seattle is at the top of another list. And there's a new report out this morning, G, that says we are officially the most expensive city in America to host a Super Bowl party. So this is according to an analysis by the Action Network. If you're hosting a party, you're going to be spending just over $39 per guest once you factor in all the food, the drinks, the groceries, and the shared utilities. So that means, of course, if you're hosting 10 people, let's say, you're looking at a total bill of about $392. They said on average. I say that's low. But that's roughly $130 more than Green Bay, the cheapest city on the list, and about $13 more per person than the national average. So between inflation, grocery prices, and the Seattle cost of living taxes, throwing a Super Bowl party here now costs about the same as a fancy date night, times the number of guests that you have.
Right.
So text us or send us a message on Facebook. Are you hosting? I know you're not. I'm so jealous of you because you're going to be holding parties down there in Santa Clara.
Well, here's the thing. Let's just talk about groceries. Look, gas prices, I know we always talk about the gas tax here, and it's ridiculous. But for the most part, gas prices, you know, it is what it is. It's what it's been lately. What's the average cost in Washington right now? Maybe $3.80 in the state of Washington, and maybe in the Seattle area, it's in the $4s. Okay, yeah, it's high. Mm-hmm. But right now, I would say the one thing that really gives me sticker shock, seriously, is groceries. Mm. Like right now, if sometimes you understand why some people will order DoorDash or Uber Eats, because sometimes that meal is cheaper that way than to go to the grocery store and be able to purchase. Like, I'm being serious. Like, the cost of meat, you're talking about a 40% increase in meat. You go to get you a steak now, and you're like, huh? When did a steak become that much?
Yeah.
I remember, and here's why I know this. Steak, I remember, 15, 20 years ago, right? Being able to go get a steak for X amount of price. And you see what the price is now, and it's just burned into your brain like, yes. My goodness.
So my question, though, is if you are hosting, are you more apt now to ask people to bring things? And again, not counting this Super Bowl because you're going to be down there.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to a party, so I'm not going to be hosting this time. But I know that there are people who just love to socialize, but as it gets more and more expensive, do you do things like, hey,
potlucks are fun. Yeah, that's normal. Yeah. I think there's a lot of people, even sometimes, even at my place.
Yeah.
I have friends that'll come over and they'll bring something. Yeah. And I also got those friends that either bring paper plates or ice. Hey, Cornelius, I have him bring ice. He's a great ice guy.
If my friend Vince is listening, I probably should have told him that we were only going to have like 8 people at our house this last Sunday.
Yeah.
He brought ice. Vince, if you're listening, he brought bottles of soda. I told him to bring nothing. We already had it covered. I already told you we're just doing pizza and salad.
So he brought that out of his no.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if somebody calls you and you're coming over and you say, hey, what can I bring? And they tell you to bring ice, they're telling you a lot.
I'm having a Galentine's Day party.
Yeah.
And if my friend Sonia's listening, I told her, I said, please don't bring frozen shrimp again, because the last time she came to my house, she brought shrimp.
Sonia, she didn't bring frozen shrimp.
It was frozen.
Oh, wow. Come on, Sonia. Come on now. Come on, Sonia.
I'm calling you out, Sonia.
That party foul.
Okay, but anyway, no, it was, I usually tell people don't bring anything. Mm-hmm. But man, I love it when actually people just say, I'm going to bring this and don't give me a choice. Because otherwise, if you ask, there's a good chance I'm going to say no. But understand that hosting a party right now, we have the title of being the most expensive city, if you believe this study.
Yeah. And one more thing, too. You don't have to always have a fancy meal like some of the best party things are just simple meals.
Yes.
Like I'm not making fun, like pizza, chicken
Everyone
wings.
had a good time.
By the way, nobody should have a Super Bowl party without wings. Or some chips.
Noted.
Wings or chips?
Yes, that's for sure. Okay, I want to bring some good news because are you familiar with Scarecrow Video? So if you're not, it is a video store in Seattle's U District. It has nearly 155,000 movies. That's about 8 times more than all major streaming services combined, including tons of films that you cannot find online.
Yeah.
It's not a VHS museum. Remember, I was lamenting that we don't have Blockbuster anymore. I used to love the Friday nights trying to figure out what video you were going to bring home. But most of what Scarecrow Video rents is DVDs and Blu-rays. And here's the good news. Scarecrow just saved itself.
Okay.
So it's a nonprofit, actually, and it's officially bought its building after facing possible closures last year because of how expensive it is and damage to the property. And the archives executive director spoke with King 5 News and said that owning the building felt like it was out of reach, but community support made it possible. Could there be a more Seattle thing? Like the community rallied around Scarecrow, which has been around since 1988. The fundraising is still happening. They still have to do more fundraising. And you're looking at me like, Ursula, you're pretending you care. I know your face.
Okay.
This is a cool thing. And obviously, okay, Paul, jump in.
I think this matters. These are the type of things that make Seattle cool. I mean, if you don't have businesses like these, then it just becomes a lot more stale. But remember, we're also talking to the guy that you don't go to the theater much, right? Either do you, G?
No, I don't.
G just needs his little Netflix right there.
Hey Nick, when's the last time you gone to rent a DVD or VHS video?
That's had to have been like at least a decade ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Ursula, tell me the last time I want to see the copy of the receipt. I tell you what.
Wait, what?
If you can produce a copy of a receipt that shows me when you went to go rent a DVD, if you could tell me the last time, if it's been within the last year, I'll give you $100 right
Does
now.
it count, those red boxes count in the last year? No, guilty. Not the last year.
Okay.
I've given up on movies. You keep recommending them.
So who is going to rent this stuff? Who?
Clearly,
It's millions of dollars. I would say it's a place a lot of people. I drive past it and people are going in and out all the time.
There you go.
You got to have places like these in your community. They matter.
Jerry
it's
and the 206. Scarecrow is tops.
Movies you can't get online. They take stuff off of streaming all the time. You never know when you might need to go rent a video.
Maybe I need new friends because the friends I have clearly don't rent DVDs. Coming up next, would you rather? Gee and Ursula.
Doubted.
More questions about Sam Darnold.
Underestimated.
I would say 10-7.
Questioned at every turn.
The question mark on this team is the offensive line.
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
The only place you'll hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Logan Fury did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he bought a mini treadmill. Is walking on it during video conference calls more distracting than he thought? Yes. And is that because he overestimated his foot-eye coordination? Definitely. But it's Logan's savings, and if he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, start with a free T-check exam and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and the results can last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. Using your own natural hair, Advanced Hair can restore your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning. All backed by Advanced Hair's guarantee. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. I love it when Ursula's scrambling right now before we come into the show. You good over there?
Well, no. My computer is disconnected because during the break I was laughing so hysterically that I kicked a cord somewhere.
And then when you're trying to fix a computer, who'd you call over?
Paul. Rent a millennial.
We need to do a little more
Unfortunately,
looking into it.
it's not working.
All right, let's get to the world famous Would You Rather game. Would you rather, I've asked this before, I ask it again, make great money at a job you don't believe in, or make just enough doing the work that actually matters to you? And by the way, we've been talking about groceries and Super Bowl parties and rent going up and, you know.
I'm going to answer truthfully.
Go ahead.
If it was the beginning of my career and the first probably couple decades, and I am just trying to survive and have, you know, a roof over our head and all that, I would rather make more money and make it a job that I just don't love, but I would have enough money to cover everything. Mm-hmm. Later on in life, when things are a little more comfortable, so right now, I would absolutely pick the job that I love doing and be okay with making less. How about you?
And by the way, not just less, but make just enough.
Just enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I would rather make great money at a job I don't believe in. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be upset. The next day, you come to work and you be like, man, that's it?
Okay, text us. 888-973-5476. 888-973 KIRO. It is. Of course it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point. Yeah.
Would you rather work fully remote but on Zoom all day, or go into the office but only work 6 focused hours?
Go into the office. Just in case anyone is not aware of this, even during the pandemic, I came into the office. I came into the newsroom. I was the only host that came into the newsroom every time.
Would you rather...
Wait. What about you?
Oh, go into the office. Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy. Would you rather get paid hourly with unlimited overtime, or a salary with flexibility that's never actually flexible? Overtime.
That sounds like too many people's reality.
So
a salary
with flexibility. So basically, you guys know how salary goes.
Okay, but how much is your hourly? That's what I want to know.
Well, it's hourly.
I would rather make an hourly, but it's an outrageous hourly, and then you still get overtime. That's what I'd want. Because a lot of times you're a salary. Now you go into management, especially true with middle management. I know this very well.
Yeah.
And you're putting in now 16 hours a day, and if you break it down, that hourly does not work in your favor.
Yeah, true. Would you rather have job security but zero growth, or high growth but you're always one email away from stress?
That latter one is a definition of working in radio. So I will go with, the volatility.
It really is. It really is.
37 years in, I'm going with that.
It really is. Would you rather be the smartest person in the room and underpaid, or be learning every day but feel behind?
Be learning every day. To this day, I feel like I'm learning every day. If you ever say you are the smartest person in the room, I would argue that you're not, and you just have a big ego.
Would you rather?
Wait. How come I'm only answering? How about you?
I'm with you. I'd rather be learning every day and feel behind. I'm with you. Would you rather take a pay cut for better work-life balance, or take a raise that costs you your evenings?
Oh, no. At this juncture,
no,
I'm taking a pay cut.
I'm taking the pay cut.
Don't get any ideas.
I'm taking the pay cut. The evenings,
right now, I got to protect my peace.
Yeah, I do. I need to protect the peace. All right. That was a little fun. A little stressful. You know, good conversation. Wasn't
I like
that easy?
it. Well, text us. 888-973-5476. 888-973.
All right, we got the 10 o'clock hour coming up. Brace yourself, because was it pressure? Was it pressure on the public officials? Well, coming up next, we talk about Greg Bonvino loses his job. Why did that happen? We'll talk about that next. Gee Ursula.
We're going to the Super Bowl.
It's time to eat, boys. Super Bowl, here we come.
Can you believe it?
We're just a really good football team that's tough and connected.
Welcome to the dark side.
Power of 12 is one is real.
Whole city going up like it's our time.
All the 12s across the country and all the 12s across the globe.
You know how we do it. The only place to hear Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO Newsradio.
The Boat Show, the Boat Show, the Big Seattle Boat Show.
The Big Seattle Boat Show starts this Friday. It's the best time to buy with big selection, big discounts, and big fun for everyone. It's a big deal. Presented by Sundance Yachts and Port of Seattle. Make it a date Friday evenings with Boat Show After Dark, featuring unforgettable ambiance, music, food, beer, and wine. Details and discount tickets at seattleboatshow.com.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about football. It's exciting when Seattle fans shake the earth. You can even feel that energy on your 100-inch variable refresh QLED surround sound 7.1. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know that enjoying the game often involves alcohol. And the police know it too. Have fun, be responsible on game day, and pace yourself. If you feel sacked in the fourth quarter, get a designated driver to take you to your end zone. If you get carried away with too many Bloody Marys after too many Hail Marys, call for a timeout. You get the point. Be safe. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com. Watching the game in your blue and green jersey is a lot more fun than wearing an orange jumpsuit.
1-800-DUI-AWAY. Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. Northwest News.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about scouting.
Thank you, Dr. Wagner. I have a really bad left hip. In fact, this other doctor's like, well, you're going to have to get a hip replacement. I was like, oh, my God. He goes, how old are you? I told him, well, you're going to have to wait a couple of years because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to both go to heaven together. I was like, well, in the meantime, well, try stretching, aspirin. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm in pain. I can't sleep. I could barely walk. I'd get off a plane, and I'm like struggling to even make it down the ramp. I go to see Dr. Wagner. He explains to me how the stem cell procedure works. It's 90 minutes, and I'm telling you right now, I love it. So rather than surgery, make an appointment to see Dr. Wagner. It could be the game changer for you, like it's been for a whole bunch of other people as well. So whether it's your hip or your wrist or your shoulder, your knee, check out Dr. Mark Wagner. I'm telling you right now, stem cell procedure could be the answer for you, as it's been for me. You want to find out more? drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you feel embarrassed, trapped, maybe even ashamed just because you own a timeshare? Well, I'm here to tell you you're not alone. Chuck McDowell here, the timeshare cancellation guy. I get over 3,000 complaints a week from all kinds of folks that feel the same way you do. Honest people, teachers, veterans, grandparents, all losing sleep over a timeshare they can't get rid of. That's why 15 years ago, I founded Wesley Financial Group to help people take their lives back. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business. treating every client and every employee like we would want our own family to be treated. That mindset has helped us cancel over 50,000 timeshares from people just like you. So if you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-261-3377. 800-261-3377. 800-261-3377.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump, leaving Washington for a speech in Iowa later today, was asked by reporters about the latest fatal shooting in Minneapolis. He indicated he's spoken to the family of Alex Preddy.
Well, I'm looking at that whole situation. I love everybody. I love all of our people. I love his family. And it's a very sad situation.
Border czar Tom Homan is in Minneapolis now, as Aaron Navarro reports.
President Trump brought up how Homan will be meeting with Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey and already met with Governor Tim Walz and said that those have been going, quote, very well. We got a similar statement from Governor Walz's office saying that there are conditions, terms of agreement that they have reached.
The chief federal judge in Minnesota has ordered the head of ICE to appear in court, as Michael Wallace reports.
Judge Patrick Schild says the Trump administration has failed to comply with orders to hold bond hearings for detained immigrants. He has ordered ICE acting director Todd Lyons to appear before him Friday to explain why he shouldn't be held in contempt of court. The judge acknowledges ordering the head of a federal agency to appear in person is extraordinary, but he says the extent of ICE's violation of court orders is likewise extraordinary.
The South is still struggling to dig out from the ice that the winter storm left this weekend, and the power outages continue. Reporter Katie Weiss is in Oxford, Mississippi, where she's been talking to students at Ole Miss.
Some girls told me that they all kind of huddled together to keep each other warm throughout the night and then came to the student union for warmth. Another student said she actually found a warm shelter in a local hospital lobby.
This week marks 1 year since the deadly collision of a military helicopter and a passenger plane near Reagan National Airport. The NTSB is wrapping up its investigation. Chair Jennifer Homendy.
We must do everything in our power, even ruffle feathers, to get our recommendations implemented, or this will happen again.
Scientists who set the so-called doomsday clock have come out with their latest assessment of the state of the world. Vicki Barker has that.
The Bulletin of Atomic Scientists has just set the 2026 doomsday clock to 85 seconds before midnight, the closest the world has ever been to nuclear, climatic, and geopolitical catastrophe. And CEO Alexandra Bell puts the blame firmly on our leaders.
Far too many leaders have grown complacent and indifferent, and in many cases adopting rhetoric and policies that accelerate rather than mitigate these existential risks.
The conference board said today consumer confidence plunged in January, hitting the lowest level since 2014. On Wall Street at this hour, stocks are mixed. This is CBS.
Take control of your financial life. Follow and listen to Money Watch with Jill Schlesinger on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are going to talk Seahawks hype and Republicans responding to Governor Ferguson's press conference yesterday. We'll have that in just a minute. But first, KIRO News Radio traffic. And we are getting word of a hazmat response in North Seattle in the Greenwood area. They're saying to avoid the 13,000 block of Greenwood Avenue North. There is, again, a building being evacuated as a safety precaution. We'll tell you more about that as we get that information in. Otherwise, it's still a slog on I-5 southbound. That is the worst area. Even so, it's only Linwood to Seattle. It's only about 24 minutes on I-5 southbound. We've cleared some collisions. It's just locked up from about Shoreline into the Roosevelt area. I-5 northbound slowing has all but gone away. So Tacoma to Seattle, you're pretty much a speed limit drive. 405 northbound, just a tiny bit of snag through the S curves and a little bit of slowing coming out of Canyon Park in the southbound direction. So Renton to Bellevue on 405 is 21 minutes. Bothell to Bellevue is 21 minutes as well. And this report is brought to you by Simply Seattle. Gear up for the big game at Simply Seattle. Shop official Seahawks playoffs gear and custom Simply original designs. Shop in-store or online and enter to win a $1,000 shopping spree now at simplyseattle.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. State Republicans are responding to Governor Ferguson's press conference preparing for ICE actions here in Washington. Here's KIRO News Radio Luke Ducey, who has been following that issue.
Chairman of the Washington State Republican Party, Jim Walsh, called Governor Bob Ferguson and Attorney General Nick Brown the Thelma and Louise of the ICE enforcement issue, saying they are driving over a cliff. Ferguson said he recently met with the head of the National Guard to discuss potential scenarios here in Washington. Walsh urged concern over growing protests tied to federal immigration enforcement boiling over into violence, just like the fatal shooting of 37-year-old Alex Preddy by federal agents in Minneapolis. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Later this afternoon, the King County Council will take up a motion on ICE. It's a symbolic gesture asking Congress to make sure any funding for the Department of Homeland Security has, quote, meaningful and significant guardrails. E-bikes could be in for a lot more rules and regulations. The legislature is considering bills that would change what is considered an e-bike and who can or cannot ride them based on speed and power. Stephen Ellis is with the Association of Washington Cities.
This is not an attempt to undercut adoption of electric bicycles. It's not an attempt to criminalize kids. The intent behind this bill is to provide clarity so that cities can take steps to make sure that these vehicles are operated safely and that no one gets hurt.
Some e-bikes are more like motorcycles that can reach speeds over 60 miles an hour. The legislature wants to know if riders should be required to take training and be licensed to ride them. We are on a countdown, and it's 12 days from the Super Bowl. Of course, the Seahawks will be there. Check mynorthwest.com and seattlesports.com for all your latest Seahawks hype news. Checking the weather quickly, we are going to have a dry day with, it looks like the potential for rain this afternoon, but definitely showers tomorrow. High 51 today, high 50 tomorrow. And it's 35 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. You know, Ursula, when I was preparing for the show today, I never thought I'd get so much grief from not many people that still rent DVDs.
I told you, though.
Yeah.
You got nothing? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no. I've just been hearing it from a lot of people.
Because they're passionate about Scarecrow.
No, when I say a lot of people.
You mean two?
Yeah. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning. Yeah. And that was a discussion. Scarecrow has been saved, that beloved DVD store that has so many titles, more than you could possibly find in your streaming services. It has been saved by the community. So that was the good news last hour. Coming up at 10:30, we're going to talk about e-bikes. Sully's going to join us, and maybe that e-bike that you bought for your teen, well, it might not even be legal. So we'll tell you about that coming up at 10:30. As always, we invite you to join us. The Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO.
What's new at 10?
Question for you right now. Is President Trump changing his stance on ICE operations in Minneapolis in the wake of Saturday's killing of Alex Preddy by federal agents? CBS News has learned that ICE Commander Gregory Bovino and some of his agents are leaving the Twin Cities, and the White House says border czar Tom Homan is now going to direct the operation.
With growing backlash, President Trump now seems to be changing course. On social media, the president said he had good calls with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey Monday, announcing his border czar Tom Homan will now coordinate with state and local officials on the ground.
We hope Governor Walz will do the right thing and continue to work with President Trump
to keep the American people safe.
Governor Walz's office said in a statement the president agreed to look into reducing the number of federal agents in Minnesota. Fry also says he'll continue to push for an end to ramped up federal immigration operations and that he plans to discuss next steps with Holman today. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And so last hour, we were talking about, is there going to be any kind of progress? Is there going to be any change? Is anything going to matter? Is Congress going to finally have a backbone? And I would argue that because of what the angry citizens, not just in Minneapolis, but especially in Minneapolis, but also across the country, and the pressure, there is finally, and the polling, I think that there is actually some recognition that what was Trump's strongest point in the campaign may now be a weakness.
Yeah, maybe I felt a certain way in the 9 o'clock hour. I'm going to go ahead and just say it right now. There's going to be no change. And what I mean by there's no change, just hearing what Lovett said. Did you hear what she says? The first thing she went right into was how to keep Americans safe. That's what she said. Now, I find something interesting because every single time we do news here all day, every day, and the biggest crimes that are being committed in this country are by whom? It's not undocumented immigrants. Why is it that we continue to label undocumented immigrants as the ones that's committing crimes? Do I need to go through the top 10 biggest violent acts that's happened in the United States over the last year? For some reason, they're not undocumented. So I tell you what, until this administration stops with the narrative of people being undocumented as being violent offenders, until you stop saying that and then grabbing 5-year-olds and killing citizens that are 2A, that are practicing their 2A amendment, that have a licensed gun to carry, dying for no reason. When that starts to happen, maybe I'll have hope.
So the reason I think that there has been a change of heart, and where he actually spoke with the governor of Minnesota and agreed to bring Tom Homan in. I asked former King County Sheriff John Urquhart about Tom Homan yesterday. It was off the air, actually, but I asked, is this a good thing? And he said, yeah, Tom Homan is actually considered like the adult in the room, so this would be a good move. It sounds like, at least, again, specifically in Minnesota, Governor Walz is saying, yeah, I mean, that's a good first step. Still not enough, but I mean, it's a good first step. But there are polls showing only 39%. So a Reuters Ipsos poll shows only about 39% of Americans approve of the administration's handling of immigration, with 53% disapproving. That's a record low in Trump's presidency so far.
Yeah.
So he does react to those kinds of things.
Right.
And again, I've been especially discouraged by Congress, especially Republicans in Congress, for doing absolutely nothing to stop it. But we're now seeing that, for example, House Homeland Security Chairman Andrew Garbarino from New York, a Republican, is asking for testimony from DHS and ICE leadership about the tactics that are being used. Other Republican senators like Mike McCall, Tom Tillis, Bill Cassidy, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, they're all asking for a thorough and impartial investigation into the shooting. And so, I'm looking for anything.
Yeah,
but I think what's working is that citizens are being relentless.
You want to know what's working? Is that we're talking about everything else but the Epstein files. You want to know what's working? Is that we don't talk about any undocumented immigrants in the Epstein files. And so when you start talking about a full and thorough investigation, hey, how's the Epstein files thing going? You know, the Aarons and Puyallups in the world, they want to talk about everything else, but they don't want to talk about people that are okay with pedophilia. Oh, is that too much?
Yes.
Do
you don't need to.
Do I need to put cheddar on the broccoli so people can taste that better? So I'll tell you what, you guys convince me when you're ready to talk about the Epstein files, Donald Trump, Aarons, and Puyallup, and then I'll maybe have some hope. But until then, ain't nothing new under the sun. Nothing's going to change. You're just going to come up with a different tactic.
What's new at 10?
That's what's new.
Okay, let's try another story.
Okay.
Did you hear Apple CEO Tim Cook is now facing online backlash
what did Tim
attending a black tie movie screening at the White House just hours after what happened in Minneapolis? So he was among a group of CEOs and VIP guests who joined the president and Melania Trump Saturday night for a private premiere of Melania Trump's new documentary. And this was, of course, the same day that the Trump administration was publicly describing the man who was killed as a dangerous threat to agents. Critics are saying Tim Cook's decision to attend that event and pose for photos was deeply tone deaf, given what had just happened in Minneapolis. So now there are calls to boycott Apple that have begun circulating online. Critics are essentially accusing major CEOs of staying silent and cozying up to this administration during a moment of national outrage. I want to ask just on a broader thing. Who's speaking out? Who's not? What makes you most frustrated about those who are remaining silent right now?
I'm not frustrated because I've never lived in this country where it wasn't the same. I'm not frustrated because I understood what it is and what it was on January 20th of 2025. At the inauguration, Bezos was there, right? All of the rich billionaires were there. And Donald Trump basically had his partners, his homies behind him. And Donald Trump's job is to make sure that these billionaires stay rich. So Tim Cook showing up there, that's par for the course. Zuckerberg showing up. Bezos showing all of these billionaires. If they wanted this stuff to stop, the billionaires can make it stop tomorrow.
Yes.
It doesn't bother them because it doesn't matter to the Tim Cooks of the world. I want people to understand these billionaires don't care about the common folk. That's why Dr. King was killed. He wasn't killed talking about blacks and whites. He was killed when he started to point out the differences in the problem when it comes to the working class.
Yeah, and that's where I think history, among other things, is going to be extremely unkind to those who really did have influence and could have done something and stayed silent.
They're changing the history books, though, Ursula.
Yeah, but ultimately, the real history is going to win out. Okay, did you see this thing about, it's in the New York Times. It's a New York Times Siena poll, and it found that Americans are not very confident about their economic future, and all but the oldest Americans believe that a middle-class lifestyle is basically out of reach.
You're doing this on purpose today.
I am.
You really cooking.
Well, it felt like it was just a natural segue.
Go ahead.
Okay, today is a day of broccoli on the show.
Okay.
And so while a majority of people in this poll said they could afford basics like rent and gas and groceries, most said they do worry about the costs, and there was a pronounced sense that it has become more difficult, if not nearly impossible, to get ahead in this country. And, we're talking about housing, retirement, healthcare, all the traditional staples of a middle-class lifestyle. For so many folks, they're feeling like, that's just not going to happen. I'm never going to be able to retire. I'm going to have to keep on working. And middle class, for too many, feels like a pipe dream. 2/3 of voters said they now think a middle-class lifestyle is out of reach for most people. 77% say it has gotten much harder to achieve than a generation ago. Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973, KIRO. Middle class, what does that even mean anymore?
It doesn't exist. If I say something right now, about how the billionaires in this country are just making money hand over fist, that their money continues to increase on the backs of the working class, not one billionaire will argue with me. You want to know who's going to argue with me? Not a billionaire. The only people that argue with me when I talk about this are those of the working class. So why do the billionaires continue? Because for some reason they have America fooled. Well, they're making people believe that as long as you keep ICE in Minnesota, as long as you do all of these different things, that money's going to come in my pocketbook. People said they're going to make America great again. People said that they were going to help you buy groceries. People said that they were going to help you get jobs. Is America great yet? I'll just sit back and just be like, hey, maybe I don't know much.
Okay, well, I'm going to answer my own question, which is the definition of what is middle class today. So at least for the Pew Research Center, they define middle class as households that earn between 2/3 and double the median U.S. household income, which was $83,000 in 2024. So using that measurement, middle income is made up of people who make between $55,000 and $167,000. Now, $55,000 ain't going to cut it in this region. It's going to be very difficult. That would not be considered middle income. $167,000, a lot of people would be happy with that.
Right. But it feels like I don't know that we want people to be able to make it in this country. I don't know that we want people to be able to make it with middle class income. And the reason why I say that, and maybe I'm wrong, but every time we talk about raising minimum wage, there's a fight. Every time we talk about elimination of student loan debt, there's a fight. Every time G brings up that the federal minimum wage is still $7.25, there's a fight. Anytime you start talking about help with child care for families, anytime you start talking about SNAP benefits for families, people say they're stealing and it's fraud. So I don't know, Ursula. We talk about these topics. I'm just really confused. There's an affordable health care act. When it comes to Obamacare, get rid of Obamacare. And then what's the new plan?
None.
We have concepts of a plan. So maybe I'm being negative right now, but I'm just really confused on people saying that they want the middle class to exist. They want people to make money, but everything else that happens is against that very principle.
Jeff in Bonnie Lake agrees with you. Middle class golden age was 1940 to 1990. Prior to that, there was no middle class. We're losing it. The ultra rich have convinced the poor to carry water for them, is essentially what you're saying. I would love to hear from you if you consider yourself among those who feels like you're either never going to reach middle class or it just doesn't exist anymore.
Some more data from that piece there. 40% of ages 18 to 29 think the life that you should be able to afford is out of reach. 42% for those 30 to 44, 32% from 45 to 64. And then the lowest is 27% of those 65 and up. And that's, again, do you think you feel like you should be able to afford the life you want to live? So.
And I perhaps am the wrong person to be talking about it and how you feel, et cetera, because I am toward the end of my career. Let's just face it. But you are someone, and Nick is someone. You guys are at the start of your career. When you hear middle class, what does that mean to you? Is that something attainable for you?
I guess it's stability. I guess where I went from when I started, really being paycheck to paycheck and having to really budget it out. Now I can kind of be a little bit more free in my spending. I can go out and do things. I can go out to grab a bite to eat. But in terms of what I was growing up to believe the middle class was, and some of the ideas and things that, we were told, hey, this is the path and everything, I find that to be very far out of reach, whether I'm here in Seattle or anywhere that I would be. I mean, buying a home, having affordable childcare to raise a family, 2.5 kids with the white picket fence. I mean, that seems like it seems very difficult to get there. Not impossible, but very difficult.
Teacher, question. When the drugs and the war on drugs were happening and we wanted to get the drugs off the streets, do we remember that 3/4 of drug arrest was from marijuana? And do we remember how marijuana arrests would stick on your record forever. And all of the people that have gone around the United States right now that are underpaid and underhoused because they had marijuana on them, today it's legal. So when you start talking about the elimination of the middle class, everything has been designed this way.
Should come as a surprise to
say,
nobody.
well, Gee ain't no damn victim. I don't know any other way to live but to live and just go full speed ahead. I'm not having whatever's holding me back, it's holding me back. But I'm gonna keep going. The problem is people cannot deny that the system is set up to have this result. And then the same folks that are upset about the result, you were okay about the system. But now the system is not helping you, so now you're mad. The system has been destroying and oppressing people in this country for way too many years. And guess what? It's never been fixed, and it's never going to stop oppressing people in this country.
Bleak. Okay, coming up at 10:30, we're going to talk about e-bikes because there is an effort to put more regulations on those e-bikes because the one that you bought for your kid might not even be legal.
All right. Do that next. Gee Ursula.
The John Curley Show.
If you do get tickets and you are lucky to be able to go,
Weekdays 3 to 7.
you have to stand the whole time. We are actually affecting the game. I took Rye to a game last year, and we were really disappointed. The people are sitting the whole time. Rye goes, I'm standing the whole game. I don't get people behind me. Too bad. Too bad. I'm here for the game. You know, what are you out there dating your sister?
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube. Weekdays 3 to 7. And download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Dan. Dan, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
I had the same insurance company for 30 years and just accepted all the premium increases as inflation or feeling tethered to them because I have earthquake coverage and was uncertain about being able to get that anywhere else. But when I talked to Ken at First Mark, wow, he came back with bigger umbrella policy, better earthquake coverage, which I didn't think was possible. And when he came down with the premium number, it was a no-brainer. We were saving over $2,500 a year. Don't wait, because it's annoying to think of what I could have done with that money over the last 10 years had I done something sooner.
Well, Dan did it. My family did it. You got to do it, and it's totally free. Take the First Mark Challenge today. See how much money they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be the next First Mark Challenge victory that I get to talk to as well. Simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com, firstmarkinsurance.com.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Progressive Insurance knows pets, and one of the biggest differences between people and pets is that we don't eat things off the floor. But dogs definitely will, and it makes them so happy, no matter what it looks like, smells like, or what state of decomposition it's in. We all want to go through life that carefree, and that's also why you should get Progressive Pet Insurance, because they eat things off the floor. So protect your pet from all the questionable life decisions they make. You know where they drink from when you're gone, right? Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction, lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt, so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder. Now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. It is the last season for legendary radio voice of the Mariners.
There it is, number 60, the modern-day Bambino.
Rick Riz is retiring after the 2026 season. He's spent 40 years on live baseball play-by-play. He was originally hired by the M's back in 1983 and paired with Hall of Fame broadcaster Dave Niehaus. Riz took a brief hiatus before returning in 1995, where he's been a fixture for Seattle baseball fans ever since. President Donald Trump spoke on the investigation into the death of a U.S. citizen in a confrontation with the Border Patrol in Minneapolis. CBS's Linda Kenyon has the latest from the White House.
The president says he will be watching over the investigation.
I want a very honorable and honest investigation. I have to see it myself.
Speaking to reporters before heading to Iowa, the president steered away from some strong statements made by his staff about the shooting death of Alex Pretty, that Minneapolis ICU nurse killed by ICE agents.
I love everybody. I love all of our people. I love his family. And it's a very sad situation.
When asked if Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem should step down,
no.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Consumers are feeling increasingly pessimistic at the start of 2026.
The Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index plunged 9.7 points in January from the previous month, with the index falling to its lowest level since May 2014. The report says confidence collapsed in January as consumer concerns about both the present situation and expectations for the future deepened. Consumers are signaling more caution when it comes to big purchasing plans, with home buying expectations retreating, along with plans for appliances, electronics, and furniture, although purchasing plans remain strong for smartphones and used cars.
That's CBS business reporter Jason Brooks. And of course, tech layoffs and other economic woes may impact consumer sentiment. We are on Amazon watch. Last week, Reuters reported up to 14,000 layoffs could be announced as soon as today. Now let's check your KIRO News Radio traffic. We are still slow from I-5 southbound, all the way from about 145th into downtown Seattle, making that A little bit worse, there is a disabled vehicle blocking the center lane at Northeast Northgate Way. Again, I-5 southbound. Let's check Linwood to Seattle Drive is 24 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle on I-5 northbound, which is faring a lot better. That's 30 minutes. Renton to Bellevue on 405 northbound, 21 minutes. And Bothell to Bellevue in the southbound direction is just 21 minutes at this point. Report brought to you by Tacoma Home and Garden Show. The Tacoma Home and Garden Show presented by Puyallup Chocolates, January 29th through February 1st at the Tacoma Dome. For info and discount tickets, go to tacomahomeandgardenshow.com. Cloudy, potential for rain later today, high of 51. 50 degrees tomorrow and rainy. It is 36 degrees in downtown Seattle right now. I'm Jillian Raftery with KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Tuesday to all of you. Our Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line is open for you, 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO. Gee, I told you a while back that I was considering getting an e-bike, and then my husband talked me out of it because I wanted to use it to get here to work, and he was like, yeah, he didn't want me to. And then I heard Sully talking about electric bikes this morning, and it sounds like there is a move in the legislature to toughen up some rules.
Not only toughen up rules, but really, I guess, probably create some actual guidance and definition for what is or isn't an electric bike. Because a lot of people, you figure an electric bike is a bicycle that has pedals, you're pedaling, and then when you need a little extra boost, you go up a hill, you can click on the motor and you can get a little bit of assist. Well, now there are new generations and different types of bicycles out there that are considered e-bikes and some that are clearly undefined under the law, and some people believe they're e-bikes. They're not. These are bicycles that don't even have pedals and can go 60 miles an hour.
So like motorbikes.
They're basically motorcycles, but there's no guidance in the legislature, no restrictions, no requirements, no understanding of what the different, so there's just e-bike, and then these are kind of e-bikes, but we don't really have any control over them. And what's happening is a lot of younger kids are using these around the neighborhoods and going on, because right now you can use bike-assisted e-bikes on paths and trails. And so what we're finding now are bikes, the max is 20 miles an hour on e-bikes right now, 28 if you have a Class 3, and Class 3s can only be driven by people 16 or ridden by people 16 or over. But what we're having now are bikes that can go 35, 40, 50, driven by 12-year-olds going on bike trails and in neighborhoods. People are saying that emergency room visits are up. And so the legislature wants to try to maybe get an idea of reining in all of this, defining what an e-bike is, what an e-motorcycle might be, and then if it's an e-motorcycle and goes over a certain speed or has over a certain amount of wattage for the battery power, you might not be able to drive it unless you're 16, you have a license, you've gone through training. It's basically like driver's ed for what is now considered an e-bike. So that would be a vast change in the legislature for something that the technology got on them a little fast, and they need definitions. So that's what they're trying to do.
I don't have a question. I just want to say this is garbage. Hey, back in my day when I used to ride a regular bike, I can almost go 20 miles an hour myself on a regular bike. And Ursula, here's my new rule. I want to make an amendment to that. My amendment would be, if you live in the city, then these regulations are for you. If you're in rural areas, it should not apply. One of the most fun things that I did coming up in life, by going to military school, I had some friends that lived in the country. Where you think
that's where you got the dirt bike.
Dirt bikes, shooting guns, bow and arrows, all kinds of stuff. Come on, I mean, having a good time. This is ridiculous. You talk about 20 miles an hour? That's slow, Ursula.
That's slow, but
what?
Again, if it's an e-bike and it has no pedals, how is that even a bicycle?
Well, exactly. And so they know there's no real enforcement of this.
Yes.
And a lot of parents
are there a lot of accidents? I mean,
yes.
Have we seen
and parents are buying things for their kids that they think are e-bikes that turn out not to be. And to speak to Gee's point, some cities have started to try to create ordinances about this. The legislature is of the mind of, well, why don't, instead of having a patchwork of something, why don't we have a rule that applies to everybody? But your point is well taken. I mean, out there in the, where it's safe to do so. But I'm not sure if people who ride, on these trails, say up Tiger Mountain or Cougar Mountain or whatever, with your bicycling, or you got your kids and your dog, if you want something going 50 miles an hour up that same path with you, because right now you can use e-bikes on mixed-use paths. And so people who ride their bikes and walk their dogs are like, well, okay, an e-bike's fine, but I can't handle something going 50 on this kind of
Connie
path.
Connie in the 253 just texted in and said, gee, you've never had one of these bikes pass you on the trail going 40 miles an hour coming up behind you.
Okay.
It is a good regulation.
You can't have this on the trail.
Yes.
You can't have this on the trail with the people. Hey, Connie, I agree. You're right. I think that's not cool.
So basically you're saying if you have wide open spaces out in the country, you're not on a trail, you're not on a road, you're not in a cul-de-sac.
That's why I said city
you're on
stuff.
private property. Well, then on private property, maybe. Then the rules don't necessarily apply. But I'm not sure you guys don't necessarily live in suburban land like I do, where we have basically small gangs of children running around on these things.
Oh, wow.
It's awesome. They just take over the streets. They take over the sidewalks. And they don't know the rules of the road.
That would be annoying.
They're in and out of traffic.
Yes.
And this very popular down in, Charlie's neck of the woods, our good friend Charlie Harger. And so, I see it a lot in our neighborhoods. And it's not, I don't want this to be a get off your lawn kind of thing. But if I'm out there walking the dog or riding my own bike, you have these groups of kids who don't necessarily understand how fast these things can go, and also whether what the rules of the road. Like, do I have to stop for that car? Do they have to stop for me? And so they're just looking to define this.
I got a question, and Connie, if you're still listening, and this is for you, Sully. Is there a certain miles per hour on these trails? Like, even in general, like, shouldn't you? I don't think it would be like 40, 50 miles an hour on a bike on a trail. That's ridiculous.
I think that it's governed by the e-bike rules themselves, which are supposed to max out at 28. Most of them are 20s, but they're supposed to max out at 28, which people can kind of handle. But I think on the mixed-use paths, they have to be 20. I could be wrong on that, but that's something where they're looking. There's some conflict there. Burt Gilman Trail, people are talking about this a lot. People rolling at 50 miles an hour on those.
Well, you know what? I stand down. I stand corrected. Some of y'all are messing it up for everybody. Okay. All right.
So
I stand down.
So we're thinking, this is a short session, though. Like, how much of a priority is this?
Well, you had a hearing last week in the House, hearing last night in the Senate. What this bill would do, as it's considered right now, is to create basically a work group. The bill would only create a work group that says, hey, by the end of this year, once the session's over, we create this group, and by the end of this year, we want you to come up with some guidelines that maybe we can take up next year, some hard facts and things. So they're going to, so maybe not necessarily changing the rules this session, but be creating the framework for them to discuss what they should do when they have the longer session next year.
Nothing
imminent, no, but it's just something I know a lot of parents have their kids who love these bikes, and a lot of people love their e-bikes, but it's just, I think there's some gray area that the legislature is just trying to figure out.
I love my e-bike.
You do? Do you have? Oh, that's right. That's what you take to work.
Yeah, I bike in every day, and it's actually interesting. They have a setting. I could technically increase how fast my bike goes, but it says a little warning that says, hey, before you increase this, you should check your local laws to make sure that you can't go, because mine caps me at 20 miles. Like the accelerator, obviously I can go, like if I'm going downhill, it'll go up, but like my speedometer, it won't go more than 20 miles an hour. It caps me there.
Oh, wow.
So,
how big's your battery?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, standard is 750 watts.
I think I'm a 7.
Right now, a lot of them that they're selling are 1,000 out there. And yeah, check it out. Sorry to be the Captain Bring Down for all those kids out there.
No, it's not bring down, because you want to make sure that they don't have to become early organ donors.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that they stay
Besides,
safe.
it's time for baseball season. Those kids should be out there, pitchers and catchers, not riding motorcycles down the street.
Yeah.
Sully, thank you.
Thanks, Sully. Hey, coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show, it's time for scenarios. Next, Gee and Ursula.
Doubted.
More questions about Sam Darnold.
Underestimated.
I would say 10-7.
Questioned at every turn.
The question mark on this team is the offensive line.
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
the only place you'll hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Did you know 25% of your home's heat loss is through your attic? Jake Skorheim here. When hot air rises, if your attic isn't properly insulated, that hot air is going to go right through your ceiling and out your old roof. That sounds cold and expensive. So if your furnace is working overtime, it's time to call Valentine. And right now, Valentine has a great winter special. Bundle attic insulation with any new roof, and you'll save an additional 10% off your entire project. Just call 206 Roofing, and remember, when you see the red Valentine vans, you know your home is in good hands.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical, there's no beating CM Heating.
What a good move I made. Let me tell you a quick story. I've done a whole bunch of races and a bunch of other stuff like that, and my left hip started bothering me about 5 years ago. And I go to the doctor, and he's like, you need a hip replacement. I was like, I'm 60. Yeah, we're going to ask you to wait a little while because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to go into the grave at the same time. I said, what do you do about all this pain? Well, you could, aspirin, and you could continue to do this and that and, sleep with a pillow between your legs. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Then I was talking to Bob Stelton over there at the sports department. So he went to Dr. Mark Wagner, and I think he had his hip done as well. So I go in there. I said to Dr. Wagner, can you fix my hip? Takes a look at the MRI. Yes. So I got the stem cell procedure. I'm telling you something. This is the best. If you've been thinking about, surgery for your knee, your wrist, your shoulder, or hip, no. Check out Dr. Mark Wagner and go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight. But when you can't work, care for your kids, or even put food on the table, that diagnosis can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to support Northwest Hope and Healing. Our mission is to provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. For more than 25 years, Northwest Hope and Healing has distributed over $3 million to thousands of local cancer patients, and you can help make a difference in our community. Join us on Saturday, January 31st for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of fine wine, gourmet cuisine, and inspiration at Mary Hill Winery in the heart of Woodinville wine country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support on January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
The Boat Show, the Boat Show, the big Seattle Boat
Boat Show.
The Big Seattle Boat Show starts this Friday. It's the best time to buy with big selection, big discounts, and big fun for everyone. It's a big deal. Presented by Sundance Yachts and Port of Seattle. Make it a date Friday evenings with Boat Show After Dark, featuring unforgettable ambiance, music, food, beer, and wine. Details and discount tickets at seattleboatshow.com.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Let's get to scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
I've been dating someone for about 4 months now. We're exclusive. Or so I thought. Last weekend, I saw a picture on Instagram of someone, of them, I would say, at the bar. They're sitting close to each other, and it's someone I don't recognize. Their arm is around the chair. Now, nothing's crazy happening, but the energy makes me feel like it's not nothing either. Now, I didn't say anything on Instagram, but what I did is I checked my significant other's location, and yes, they are at a bar. Later that night, they text me like everything was normal, and I didn't bring it up. So here's what I'm asking you. Was I being smart by just observing quietly? Or was I already doing too much by checking, watching, and not speaking up? 888-973-5476 is the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. Ursula, you have the bat first.
I'm always a trust your gut kind of gal, and I would say that you thought you were dating exclusively after 4 months, and it sounds like the guy that you are dating does not feel the same way.
Right.
Because, first of all, why is that picture on Instagram? When you post something and you are the one who is explicitly posting that on Instagram, you want people to see. So either he wants the person he's dating to see that and be jealous, or he doesn't really give a you-know-what about the person that he's dating, and it's not exclusive, and you assumed it was exclusive, and it's not. So what do you need to do? You need to bring it up to him.
Yeah.
Don't be quiet. You need to bring it up to him and say, hey, can we talk about where we are in this relationship? Are we exclusive or are we not? If he says, of course we're exclusive, then I would bring up, hey, I saw this on Instagram, and you're shaking your head.
You're in trouble. This is a lose-lose situation.
You're going to be quiet about it?
I mean,
no, I'm getting out of it.
What you gonna say? You gonna say, hey, I saw the picture on Instagram, and there was someone next to you with their arm on the chair.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to say. Hey, it just made me feel a certain way. Can you, either you're going to reassure me that nothing is going on, and oh yeah, that was my cousin, and we were, blah, 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 celebrating a retirement party, whatever it is, right? Or you're going to find out real quick, yeah, we're not exclusive, and I am still dating. What are you going to do? Like, tell me that you don't think you should keep your mouth shut.
They asked which one. I said being smart is to observe quietly. Truth will come out at some point.
Why would you?
What are you asking? Is
4 months in, I don't want to waste my time. If I'm thinking this is my person or this is exclusive and they're not, guess what? I don't want to be around them if they're not.
What did they do? They were standing there. There's a picture, and only thing that happened was the arm around the chair.
Gee, I'm not believing you right now that if you saw that, if it was Lillian, you and Lillian dating for 4 months, and you saw that on Instagram, that you wouldn't be asking a question.
And the moment you do, hey, what's up with that? There's no way for this not to be a bad situation, bad, weird, whatever you want to call it. I'm just, the arm is around the chair. Hey, what's going on there? And they might, 99% of the time, they're going to say nothing. I mean, what are you going, oh, hey, you know what? Yeah, the person I was sitting next to. What are the chances of that?
Good if you have someone who's honest and has nothing to hide. Bad,
Obviously, they post it on Instagram.
Yeah, not thinking they're going to be caught.
I just think sometimes we do a bad job of scanning. Some people be taking pictures in the bathroom. You don't scan the photo. They take pictures in the bathroom and then flush the toilet.
But this person is very clearly not clear about where the relationship stands. So get that clarification. You know whether you need to proceed or bail. I'm sorry. I'm just not wasting my time. If I have those little bubbles in my gut about the relationship, I'm out.
I believe that. I actually believe that. What do you got, Paul?
I'm on Team Ursula here. You got to find, you can approach it. This is your probably one of your first important conversations that you're going to have as a couple of just, hey, let's establish ourselves as where we're at. I've just wanted to, because it could be a coworker. It could be a celebration. The arms around the chair. You don't have to go in attack. Just go in there and just kind of hey, I want to make sure we're on the same page. We're established the same thing. My biggest thing that I'm struggling with a lot in the modern world is the location sharing all the time.
I've turned that off.
My friend was like, "Why? Show me your location. Show me your location." I'm like, "Dude, I've never shared my location with you. You live in Michigan. Why on God's green earth do you care what the heck I'm doing?"
You ready?
Wait. I do know.
Because I worry about your safety.
Actually,
what?
The only times I've asked about location sharing are when we are traveling overseas, or when one of my kids, they're adults, but still, like, my son just told me, actually, in 3 days, he's going to be hiking solo around Tasmania. And he showed me some of the sites, and I'm like, yeah, I need to know where you're going to be.
All right, Nick. Save the day.
I think it's one thing to think there was exclusivity in the situationship, making assumptions. But on the other hand, it's pretty obvious the other side isn't on the same page at all. Clearly isn't afraid to be posting on Instagram about other encounters they're having. So for both sides, with jumping to conclusions and also blatantly putting yourself out there on social media for others to see, forget the discussion of what they are. This should be dropped before it goes too far, because this is a recipe for disaster, not a beautiful thing in the making. You can talk if you want, but I don't think it's going to lead to anywhere. And I think one side should be finding something else rather than going towards the guy who's posting on Instagram.
Okay, I just want to say I don't think that there's a wrong answer on this topic. And I think the way Ursula wants to handle things, I think that there are a lot of people that want to handle things that way. Now, I'm going to handle this from on my side. And fellas, if you've been dating for 4 months and she posts a picture and there's a guy and their arm is around the chair, I'm just gonna say, hear me out for a second. The fact that she had no problem posting that picture, that should tell you something.
And that's where you get the clarification.
You don't need clarification. The clarification is right there, Ursula. That arm on the chair meant something. All right, everybody. That was fun. Coming up next, the 11 o'clock hour, downtown Seattle sees a 97% increase in holiday visitors. What? Gee and Ursula.
Did you know that 25% of your home's heat loss is through your attic? Hot air rises, and if your attic isn't properly insulated, the hot air is going to rise right through your ceiling, into your attic, and out your roof that's far past its half-life. That sounds cold and expensive. Hey, this is Jake Skorheim. If this sounds like your house, it's time to call Valentine. And right now, Valentine has a great winter special. Bundle attic insulation with any new roof, and you'll save an additional 10% off your entire project. Plus, with Valentine's financing options, they make it easy. No matter what your home needs, insulation, gutters, siding, or a new roof, you are guaranteed the Valentine experience. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service, even in winter weather. My home is protected by Valentine. They keep me off the roof, which my wife and kids are extremely grateful for. I trust them to help you too. To lock in your winter bundle savings, call 206 Roofing today. Again, that's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine vans, you know your home is in good hands. 206 Roofing.
File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. TurboTax helps you get your biggest refund, and then Credit Karma helps you do more with it. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-932-5858. That's 800-932-5858. 800-932-5858.
At Bible Law Group, our team reflects the same lessons learned by our founder, James Bible, while playing for legendary Husky coach Don James. Coach James always said it's amazing what gets done when nobody claims credit. That's the philosophy we carry into every case, because your victory is what matters at Bible Law Group. When your legal problems hit biblical levels and you feel like you're stuck in a lion's den of litigation, you need a legal team that won't back down. At Bible Law, we've secured over $40 million in settlements for our clients, and we're ready to fight for you. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump says he's looking forward to an investigation into the ICE shooting death of another protester in Minneapolis. CBS's Linda Kenyon has the latest.
The president says he will be watching over the investigation.
I want a very honorable and honest investigation. I have to see it myself.
Speaking before heading to Iowa, the president steered away from some strong statements made by his staff about the shooting death of Alex Pretty, that Minneapolis ICU nurse killed by ICE agents.
I love everybody. I love all of our people. I love his family. And it's a very sad situation.
When asked if Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem should step down?
No.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Meantime, a judge in Minnesota orders acting ICE Chief Todd Lyons to appear in his courtroom in person on Friday to explain why he should not be held in contempt of court for violating an earlier order. It involves the case of an Ecuadorian man who came to the U.S. illegally in 1999 when he was a minor and was detained earlier this month and placed in immigration detention. TikTok settles as social media giants face a landmark trial over youth addiction claims. The plaintiff's attorneys confirmed that TikTok agreed to settle just before the trial kicked off. 2/3 of the country has now seen ice, snow, and record cold since Friday. More than 500,000 homes and businesses are still without power, mostly in the southeast. CBS's Nicole Valdez is in Nashville, Tennessee.
Heavy tree limbs are still causing major problems in terms of power outages that the local utility crews here have been spending the last few days trying to fix, but still we've got more than 100,000 people in the cold and in the dark.
A day-long hearing is underway on the National Transportation Safety Board's investigation into the deadly Potomac mid-air collision between a commercial jet and a military helicopter near Reagan National Airport 1 year ago this month. 67 people died. NTSB Chair Jennifer Hamady says their work does not end today.
We must, it is our duty to relentlessly, vigorously
pursue safety change. Police say gang members targeted an Indiana judge for assassination on January 18th. Tippecanoe County Superior Court Judge Stephen Meyer and his wife survived the attack but were injured. Prosecutors allege that members of two gangs worked together to try to assassinate Meyer to derail a domestic abuse case against one of their own. Tim O'Malley with the FBI.
Violence or threats of violence against the judiciary or any public service is unacceptable.
5 people have been arrested. Stocks are mixed on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to the official 48 Hours After Show post-mortem on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The end of a Mariners era, we'll explain in just a moment. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic. And we are looking so much better. Oh, my goodness. Especially for a Tuesday. We are a speed limit drive from Tacoma almost all the way into downtown Seattle. We've just got a little blip of slowing. Northbound through the through the Ship Canal Bridge, right by 520, and southbound from about Northgate into the 520 area across the Ship Canal. But it's only going to cost you a few minutes. Much better improvement from even an hour ago. Let's see. Federal Way to Seattle is about 30 minutes. Linwood to Seattle is 24 minutes. Renton to Bellevue on 405 is 21 minutes. Bothell to Bellevue, 21 minutes. This report brought to you by The Pro Shop. Gear up for the playoffs. Shop postseason gear in-store at Lumen Field or The Landing in Renton.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. He has wowed the Mariners fans for more than 40 years.
Goodbye baseball off the facing of the upper deck and left.
Now, Rick Riz, the radio voice of the Mariners, says this is his last season. He was there in 2004 calling Ichiro's all-time season hit record.
Swinging a ground ball, basing up the middle. There it is, number 258, a Major League record.
Ichiro paid homage to the broadcast legend when he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Each spring, my arm was already in shape, waiting for Mariners broadcaster Rick Riz to say, "Holy smoke! A laser beam strike from Ichiro!"
And again, Rick Riz will stick around for this last season. 12 days to the Super Bowl, and the NFL is denying an internet conspiracy theory that they predetermined the Seahawks and Patriots would meet in Super Bowl 60.
At the center of the conspiracy theory, a graphic originally published by the NFL in September, depicting players from all 32 teams on a road toward Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Leading the pack, Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold and New England Patriots quarterback Drake May. Reaction on the NFL Network's Rich Eisen show.
That's fantastic. Darnold and May are up front. Up front.
The NFL says there is no conspiracy. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Amazon is closing all 72 of its Amazon Fresh and Amazon Go grocery stores nationwide. The company made the announcement today, saying they will focus instead on expanding Whole Foods and online grocery orders and delivery. We're also on high alert after reports that thousands of layoffs at the Amazon corporate level could be announced this week. Now let's get a check on weather. And we are going to stay cloudy. We might have a little bit of rain later today after dark, rainy tomorrow and cloudy with periods of some higher winds. It's going to be 51 degrees on our high today and 50 degrees high tomorrow. It is 36 degrees in downtown Seattle right now. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Grateful that you guys are hanging out with us. If you're new to the show, welcome. We appreciate you being here. Good morning to you, Ursula.
Good morning. Coming up at 11:30, we're going to do Agree to Disagree, and we're going to bring up Southwest Airlines' new boarding policy. I know boarding policies really get you going.
Are they still doing the groups at Southwest?
We're going to explain because there's a change starting today.
Okay.
And then I realized, how can you get upset about it? Because I don't even think you've flown Southwest Airlines in a very long time. But for folks like me who are always looking for a bargain, I want to, and if you also look for a bargain, I'm curious as to what you think of this big change. You think it's going to be better or worse? So we'll bring that up in Agree to Disagree coming up at 11:30. As always, we invite you to join us on our Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
Been to downtown Seattle lately, G?
Yes, I have.
Yes, me too. And there is some genuinely good news for downtown.
What's happening?
Downtown Seattle Association says this past holiday season, they got all the numbers in, and they say it was one of its busiest in years, with a big surge in people coming downtown through December, throughout that whole month. And so they say visitor traffic was nearly double what it was before the pandemic. And here's what they're especially thrilled about.
What are they
It
saying?
wasn't just tourists. More locals than usual came into the city as well. And so they're saying that the boost is being credited to a bunch of different holiday events, including new attractions, tree lightings. Remember that one that you and I hosted, seasonal festivals that gave people a real reason to show up again. And it was great for business. One single tree lighting event alone brought in about $500,000 in economic activity in just one day. And then, okay, let's just say if the Seahawks bring home a Super Bowl win and there is a parade, can you imagine? History suggests that that could bring in hundreds of thousands of people downtown in one day. I would argue even people who've been texting us and saying, I will never go downtown again. If we have a Super Bowl parade, I would say they're coming. So downtown's comeback moment might get a big fat boost from the Seahawks and their predicted win during the Super Bowl.
They are predicted to win.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yes.
So, Ursula, what do you think about this? Because the fact that it is being proven with data that more people, Ursula, are coming downtown. But I thought that people said that they're not coming downtown anymore. And more people are staying away from this place. What's that about? Is it facts over feelings?
I think that there have been some legitimate reasons to not like certain parts of downtown. You and I have always been cheerleaders for economic activity down there. We want it to succeed. I think many of us understand that the success of downtown Seattle means the success for the rest of the region. And I do remember when, yes, it did feel a lot different. When I first moved here, I would go downtown all the time.
Yeah.
Things were a lot cheaper.
Right.
And we didn't have some of the issues of open drug use and that kind of thing when I first moved here.
Right.
And I think that over the last couple of years, we did see some improvement. And again, I'm afraid we're going to go backwards, and I hope that's not the case. But I will always be a supporter of downtown Seattle because I'm a supporter of trying to keep this city positive. But I think people get very hung up on this idea of the current people in power are just wanting to ruin the government. I mean, ruin the city. Yeah. It's never going to come back. It's awful until they have a reason to actually go.
Well, lately I've been using the word confused a lot. And my confusion has been, and it continues to be, some of the same people that talk about how bad downtown is live and work downtown. And I just find that odd. If every single day you live and work downtown, but you demonize and tell people that downtown's so awful, I'm confused. But that doesn't take much for me to get confused. Because it's very easy for this to happen.
Well, I'll fill in the blank
I'm
for you.
admitting my faults in life. I'm trying to become better and more understanding.
Robin Puyallup texted in, no love to Mariners playoffs. That was huge, too. The figures that the Downtown Seattle Association came out with were really hyper-focusing on holiday stuff, but Mariners playoffs helped a huge amount. And Seahawks playing this deep into the season and now going to the Super Bowl, of course that was a huge factor, too.
Right. So why does Seattle need a change at Mayor? Nothing.
Okay. Let's talk about Mariners fans. You don't want to miss a single game next year this next coming season, because it is going to be a farewell tour for one of our very favorite people, one of the most iconic voices in Seattle.
There it is, number 60, the modern-day Bambino.
Yep. Rick Riz has just announced that 2026 is going to be his final season calling Mariners games. And first of all, I want to say congratulations to Rick for a fantastic season. And when I think of Rick Riz, I just think that man, first of all, couldn't love that team any more than anybody. Just he and Dave Niehaus are up there on Mount Rushmore of Mariners, what the Mariners represent.
Right.
But the other thing is just I enjoyed when we would have him regularly on our show, and he's just such a class act.
I tell you what, even though it's raining outside, the sun is supposed to peek out. And my most favorite thing about Rick Riz is how he is in a good mood about any and everything. And you know what Rick Riz is to me? He's the one or few people in your life that you don't have a problem disappointing others, but you don't want to disappoint this person.
Yes.
I would never want to disappoint Rick Riz because of just, and I'm not, by the way, I am not just saying this. You guys know I don't just say things to say them, but Rick Riz might be one of the most the nicest human beings, genuinely, that you'll ever meet. Every time you see him, he will put a smile on your face. And the fact that I'm so glad that they are making an announcement, meaning, because you wouldn't want to go to a Mariner game and be like, wait, that was the last time?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So we get to enjoy him. And I would love for both Paul and Nick to weigh in. And also, just because we only found this out like just a few minutes ago, could we try to get Rick on for tomorrow's show or just sometime this week? That would be awesome.
Absolutely. For me, being a transplant, basically, I haven't been connected to Rick as long as, all of you here in Seattle are. But for me, there is nothing more important to me for myself. Well, I'm being a little hyperbolic, but baseball on the radio in the summer is synonymous with just almost every fiber of my being. Obviously, I grew up in Colorado listening to a different broadcast team, but generations of people will remember Rick, and Rick will be continued to be remembered as their friend, their buddy, their voice of the summer. It's, hey, I'm driving my big rig, for a bunch of hours today. Rick's got me covered on play-by-play. Or all the times we brought him on the show, and I know Gee's always the long season. He keeps you entertained and engaged throughout the whole 162 games, plus spring training, and then you could just tell when the Mariners have made the playoffs and went on their run last year, just how much it means to him and for the city to have someone like Rick to bring those games to life, because I know baseball won't ever be the same for folks when they're not hearing Rick call it. Obviously, whoever's coming up next will probably do a great job, and they got a great crew that brings the games to life here for the Mariners. But
big shoes to fill, for sure.
Huge.
Yeah. Nick, your thoughts, my man?
Well, the first thing I think of is he's really the pioneer, or I guess the oldest figure for the Mariners right now. When he came in 1983, it used to be Dave Niehaus who was considered the godfather of the Mariners when he started at the beginning of the franchise, but he kind of took over that role, and I think he has thrived in that role, being like, everybody's grandfather, and everybody loved who he is. And frankly, he was one of the big reasons why I fell in love with the Mariners. It wasn't really because of the game or baseball, but it was because when I first listened, it was with Rick Riz and Dave Sims and Mike Blowers, and hearing those voices, and ultimately hearing him on the radio along with Dave Sims sometimes. That's kind of what drew me into wanting to get a career in radio.
Oh my gosh,
because of the entertainment aspect of it all, knowing that, I felt like I could relate in being able to, or at least enjoying to entertain people, whether it's through a game or just through stories or just the way you deliver messages. And the way he did it was always top notch, and he was always a professional, and you knew what to expect from him too when he had a broadcast. You knew his delivery, and you knew what, his demeanor, and there was no question about who he was, because off the air as well, when he came into the studio, whether he goes to 710 or when he was here on KIRO News Radio, he was the same person off the air as he was on the air. And that was always the kindest guy. And when I first met him, when he came into the control room, when he did his first appearance with us, when we had the Rick Riz show, I would say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Nick, and I've been a fan for you for a long time." And the first thing he said to me, it wasn't anything about his career, or, trying to uplift himself. He said, "Oh, Nick, that's my son's name." And so immediately he creates a connection with you, even if you don't know who he is or if whatever your status is. He always tried to learn more about you than try and project about himself. He was very selfless.
So well said.
He is very selfless,
and he has also faced personal tragedy and personal challenges, and how he stays so optimistic and positive is really quite inspirational. So we will try to have Rick Riz on very soon.
I want to say one more thing about Rick Riz behind his back. You know that old saying, "Never meet your heroes"? And you guys know where that comes from. Because sometimes you might say, I like this person, and I wonder if they're like that in real life.
Yes, and you don't want to be disappointed.
And you don't want to be disappointed. And I don't know if you guys have ever been disappointed, because I have. A lot. I just want you to know, if you have never met Rick Riz, and you love him on the air when you hear him, I promise you, he is just as lovable when you don't hear him on the air and you see him in real life.
Very true. Very true. Okay, so I look forward to our conversation with him. Speaking of conversations, though, in the last hour, we were talking about middle class and how this new New York Times Siena poll found that Americans are deeply pessimistic about their economic future. Most people saying a middle class life now feels out of reach. And we talked about, what does middle class even look like? And it was based on, a percentage of the median income. And so we said somewhere between $58,000 and I believe it was like $165,000, depending on where you live, et cetera. We got a text message after our conversation in the 10 o'clock hour from Tyler in Snohomish County. And he said this, and it really touched you. And I wanted you to explain, because he said, "I thought I had reached middle class 10 years ago. Home mortgage, 2 dogs, stay-at-home wife, living comfortably on $75,000 a year, add 3 kids to our single income, and rising costs and taxes to our life. And I feel like the claws of poverty are reaching out for us. And that's with me making $110,000 last year on multiple 50-hour work weeks. If there is a middle class still, I believe it's harder to reach, and it starts around $140,000 to $150,000 in this state."
Yeah. Because and thank you for that message. And the reason why it touched me, and the reason why I read that message twice, is because our idea of middle class and what that looks like probably comes from one of 2 places. It either comes from how life was when you were younger and what you saw in your neighborhood and your parents and our grandparents, or it came from TV. It's one of those things. And the reason why I bring it up that way, Ursula, is because, newsflash, it's not that way today. One of the things that stands out, and I'd like to ask this question, you're going to love this one, Ursula. When we're talking about working and working until you retire, this whole idea of retiring isn't the same as it used to be. Anybody working right now, are you going to get a pension? Because I'm not. See, yesteryear, people used to get pensions. Those are gone now, right? So how you live and go about life now, you're going to have to prepare for health care after you're done working, so many different things. So that middle class, what used to be yesterday, is not so much today. So that text stood out to me because the whole 1 income, 3 kids, car,
that was idyllic.
House.
It was the aspirational.
Right. And guess what? While we are living in a new time, our school curriculum still teaches the same thing. Well, come here, Johnny. Let's take Algebra 1, Algebra 2, trigonometry. What the heck is that going to do for you unless you're going to be an engineer or something? We are teaching the same archaic stuff, and we're coming out of school knowing nothing about money. Is that by design?
425 texted in and said, tell that listener to join a trade. He'll be making $150,000 to $200,000 a year easy if he wants to be middle class. And then says, gee, join a trade. They still have pensions.
Okay. I agree with what you guys said. No doubt about it. And what has happened is yes, trades will play you well. Yes, going to a trade school is awesome. So how in the world did all of these big schools end up being the prize? Why does that get looked down upon if Buddy wants to go to a tech school as opposed to someone going, I'm going to throw myself under the bus.
I don't think it's still looked down upon as much as it used to be. You're talking about whether you choose higher education, like a college versus a trade school, that kind of thing?
You mean to tell me if I put on a job application that one went to a big university, University of Washington, Ohio State, they went to that big school, or I went to Renton Technical College. Mm-hmm. You mean to tell me that
depending on the job. I mean, depending on the type of job. Yeah. I mean, sure.
Right, but because the dream has been sold for you to go out and take out these big student loans with the idea and promise that you're going to be able to make that when you get a good job. But you don't realize the predatory interest rates knocks you down.
Mm-hmm. I'm finding out that a lot of our texters do have pensions. So lucky you. I mean, I feel very fortunate, obviously, but
Gen Z not in the trade.
That's not even. Yeah, that's not.
Gen Z not in the trade. Are you getting a pension?
The thing that's really sad to me is that I'm hearing from more and more young people, and Paul, I'm not going to put his business out there, but that they're contemplating, should I even have kids? You know, I'm getting married. Should I even have kids? Because this whole thing, that it's too far of a dream and a reach to have what Tyler in Snohomish County said was his dream of being able to have on his income.
By the way, if you are getting a pension, I just want you to know that I'm a little jealous because I'm not going to get a pension. But maybe I'll just go to.
But you're working. A lot.
I'll go to trade school.
There you go.
And get something. All right, guys. Coming up next, agree to disagree. Gee and Ursula.
Holy smokes!
For 40 years, he's been part of the soundtrack of summer across the Pacific Northwest.
The Grippies with back-to-back home runs!
KIRO Newsradio congratulates Rick Riz.
Everybody scores!
Season 41 may be his last, but it promises to be one to remember.
The modern-day Bambino, Cal Raleigh.
We can't wait. From KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
At Skyline, senior living never sounded so good. The world feels bigger when you stay connected to ideas, to culture, to the things you love. We designed Skyline for today's older adults who celebrate life rooted in the city, not apart from it. At Seattle's only true life care community, premier music venues, museums, and culinary gems are just steps away. Urban senior living has an address. Discover it all at SkylineSeattle.org.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom,
think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well,
I'll take this one.
are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we'd love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Plus, get free home delivery on most beds with base. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at a Sleep Number store today.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder, now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about hockey. Don't you love a sport where it's almost fair game to throw off your gloves and bare knuckle it in that gray area? Hockey brings excitement, intensity, passion, often drinking. It's like a party with a puck. If you enjoy too many shots at the bar while watching slap shots on the ice, don't try to make a breakaway because the police won't just stonewall your goal. They're much more likely to throw you in that penalty box. And it won't be just a few minutes to think about what you did. Go ahead, enjoy cracking one open. Just don't overdo it. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com for your free private consultation. Hockey is one of the only sports where you can wrap around the goal and there's no out of bounds. But the roadway is a different story. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY! The Tacoma Home and Garden Show, presented by Puyallup Chocolates, January 29th through February 1st at the Tacoma Dome. For info and discount tickets, go to tacomahomeandgardenshow.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. State Republicans are responding to Governor Bob Ferguson's press conference, preparing for ICE actions here in Washington State. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has been following that story.
Chairman of the Washington State Republican Party, Jim Walsh, called Governor Bob Ferguson and Attorney General Nick Brown the Thelma and Louise of the ICE enforcement issue, saying they are driving over a cliff. Ferguson said he recently met with the head of the National Guard to discuss potential scenarios here in Washington. Walsh urged concern over growing protests tied to federal immigration enforcement boiling over into violence, just like the fatal shooting of 37-year-old Alex Preddy by federal agents in Minneapolis. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is not resigning or being forced out. That's according to President Donald Trump, who answered questions on the way to events in Iowa. But he also had a message for the family of Alex Preddy, the ICU nurse killed in a confrontation with Border Patrol agents.
Well, I'm looking at that whole situation. I love everybody. I love all of our people. I love his family. And it's a very sad situation.
Later today, the King County Council will vote on a resolution condemning ICE and the Department of Homeland Security and asking for guardrails for any future funding. President Donald Trump, meanwhile, says he looks forward to the full investigation into Alex Preddy's death. A scare for Black Diamond Elementary School families yesterday. A student brought a 3D printed toy gun to school. Police responded and quickly determined it was a toy and did not work, but they did confiscate it. Enumclaw School District staff say the school will follow normal disciplinary procedures in dealing with the student who brought it to school, and they are sending reminders home to parents to not allow their students to bring weapons or even toy weapons to class. Now let's get a check of your traffic, KIRO News Radio traffic, as we do every half hour here. We are looking great, almost a speed limit drive from Tacoma to Everett. We do have a little snag on I-5 northbound through the Ship Canal Bridge where there's construction there, of course. A little bit of slowing, 405 southbound. Looks like we got a new collision at just a little bit south of I-90. Kind of by a little bit north of the VMAC, kind of in that in-between area. And it's got some packed traffic back to the 405-90 interchange. It's going to cost you a few minutes. But in the northbound direction, I'm not seeing any issues. This report brought to you by Simply Seattle. Gear up for the big game at Simply Seattle. Shop official Seahawks playoffs gear and custom Simply original designs. Shop in-store or online and enter to win a $1,000 shopping spree now at simplyseattle.com. We are going to stay cloudy, and then after dark, we are going to have our first rain in a while. It's going to rain tomorrow as well. Highs today, 51. Tomorrow, 50. It's 46 degrees in downtown Seattle right now. I'm Jillian Raftery with KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And always love it when we can learn something new. And last segment, we were talking about pensions, and you were talking about, hey, how many of you have a pension plan? And we had a bunch of people texting in saying, yeah, I've got one. Well, here's the breakdown real quick. Less than 20% of U.S. workers today participate in a traditional pension plan, so a defined benefit. We're not talking about 401k. We're talking about the actual pension plan. And most of them are between the ages of 55, 64, or plus. That's 30%. 45 to 54, 20 to 25%. Under 35, only 5 to 8%. So, gee, I'm just trying to confirm what you were saying. If you were younger or you were in the younger demographic, just starting out in your career, there's a good chance you don't have a pension plan.
Right. Thank you for telling folks that. But before we move on, I was talking to Paul out there, Ursula, and I was thinking about my buddy, Kevin. And actually, Kevin passed away. May he rest in peace. But he owned and he worked with auto repair shops. That's because he went to CVS in Chicago. CVS was Chicago Vocational School. And I want to talk about vocational schools because a lot of people are talking about trades right now. And by the way, I think trades are awesome. But let's really go back and talk about what happened. How did trades become, if you will, not cool? The reason I'm bringing up vocational schools, because vocational schools, Ursula, started to disappear around the United States. From the 50s through the 1980s, kids back then, you guys have home economics. They're taught how to build, how to fix, how to wire, how to cook, shop class. Yeah. All of those things used to be in high school. But what was happening is these folks were leaving high school and going right to the middle class. And they were going out skilled, ready to work and experience. Then all of a sudden, the universities was like, hey, it's only college or else. So then in the 80s, they said, in order for you to get this job, you must have a 4-year degree. And so then it became where college universities were only the right answer. So by them doing that and then SATs and college prep and all of those things, it has all been designed to get you away from that. Now today is, why don't you go get a trade? You just go get a trade.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say, and I'm showing you how the system was set up to tell people, no, Paul, no, Nick, you can't learn that trade in high school at all.
You're not going to make the kind of money you would if you got a college degree.
You need to go to college.
Yes.
So then people said, but I can't afford to go to college. Well, then you get a student loan. So you go get these student loans, and then you have a job, and then some people are still paying off student loans today.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, that was a great description of the system, because we did have a texter earlier saying, what do you mean when you say the system? Okay, well, that was a great prologue to Agree to Disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, you got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
All right, earlier in the show, and it kind of relates to our money conversation here, we were talking about Seattle being the most expensive place to host a Super Bowl party. So I wanted to ask someone that's got a great deal of experience hosting, Ursula, what's the one thing party hosts should just skip out on? What's the one thing that's at every party, but you're just wasting your money on? It's the thing no one touches at the table. It's the thing you got a ton of leftovers on. What's the thing people should be skipping for their Super Bowl party this year?
Oh, man. Okay, sometimes I waste too much money getting those vegetable or fruit platters.
Who has anyone ever eaten a vegetable tray? Have you ever seen a veggie tray?
Well, they do if there's nothing better. If there's nothing better, and then they just drown it in the ranch sauce or whatever sauce that comes with it. I think that I have noticed that more people enjoy it when there's something either homemade or something that's warmed up, something that feels like there's a little love behind it. I think that works out. I'll say that oftentimes you can have too many things like chips and people want something a little heartier. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those are the things that I would probably steer away from. And so we usually have too many desserts. That would be the other thing.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's ever guilty of having too much of anything. Right? Like, what you might be guilty of is having too little.
Oh.
Better to be over-prepared than under-prepared.
Yeah. And with that being said, Ursula, while you were talking, I really couldn't think of one thing that is just a waste because it's subjective. Yeah. And like that vegetable tray that you're talking about,
might be the only thing.
There's people trying to
they're on keto.
That's
and
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like the vegetables be hidden.
Yeah.
I can't.
Okay, how about let's just reverse it. What is the one thing that you never have enough of?
I would say drinks, probably, right? Like,
you think?
No, I don't know. Like when you say drinks, you're talking about just regular drink, not adult beverages.
Yeah. I'll tell you what we never have enough of. Anytime we have lumpia, never enough. That thing is the first to go. Lumpia.
Yeah, I bet.
Filipino spring rolls.
Now, I think my favorite. You know what my favorite thing is that like I can't charcuterie boards. You can never have too much.
Oh yeah, with the smoked salmon in there.
You can't have too much. I think that is the one thing. Cheese and crackers and all that.
Yes,
I'm a sucker. Mm-hmm. I need that.
I haven't had enough charcuterie boards, but I like where you're at there. All right, this is big news for you travelers out there. It is officially the end of an era. Southwest Airlines has officially done away with its seat yourself policy. Now they're just like the rest of them. You board with your boarding groups and you enjoy the classic experience of, hey, I paid more, so I get to get on the plane more than you and have more leg room than you. Gee, are we going to miss the Southwest Airlines seat yourself policy? Are you buying that people actually, they said earlier, 80% of those that they surveyed wanted to choose their own seats for Southwest Airlines. Do you think we'll miss the old policy?
Yep, you will. You will miss the old policy. You don't see the bait and switch coming up? Oh, we want to pick our own seats. Oh, okay. You don't want to do the group thing? You don't want to do Group A, Group B? Cool. You want to pick your own seat? Great. We got something for you. Increased prices.
Mm-hmm.
It's a setup. It's a trap.
See, I'm not sure that's going to work out for Southwest Airlines, and I would love to hear from folks who use it much more than I do. But the times I've gone, I thought that was one of the appealing things about it.
2 free checked bags and pick your own seat. And now they don't do either of those things.
Well, and then I
See
heard
what I'm saying?
Isn't there a group now, too, that after they do the first groups, that they're going to start from the back forward? The final passengers coming in, they're going to load from the back to the front?
The stuff that I'm seeing is just basically saying if you're just a A-list preferred, choice extra fare, all these stuff, you get all that. And then if you...
I think it's just too confusing, honestly.
They're just, everything's economy plus. It's all just economy plus and stuff again. I don't know. We're going to miss it. I think Southwest has lost its charm there.
I'll tell you what, though. You're laughing, but you don't have to worry about any of this, G. So sit this one out.
Dan in Maple Valley says, never enough of my good scotch. My hardcore Gen Xer always find a way where I hide it. Hey, text messages, feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's Where Ursula Live By.
Doubted.
More questions about Sam Darnold.
Underestimated.
I would say 10-7.
Questioned at every turn.
The question mark on this team is the offensive line.
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
The only place you'll hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Sometimes we hang on to our old attorneys and coaches too long. They've been around, they've done good work. But when the legal game changes, you need a team that is hungry to win now. At Bible Law Group, we're that faster, hard-hitting legal team, ready to fight for every inch in the courtroom. With over 40 million closed for our clients, we know how to win, and we're ready to take on the biggest legal case of your career with you. Don't stick with a playbook that's gone stale. Switch to the legal team that's ready to win now. Let Bible Law Group be your linebacker in the courtroom. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
This is Lynn. She's always been active, maybe a little too active back in the day.
When I was 19 years old and immortal, I stripped out all my ligament and I had to have 6 knee surgeries, and that's on my right knee. And then my left knee finally gave out and had a torn meniscus.
Years of pain followed until she saw Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm 4 months out and I have no pain in my knees, and I have had knee pain my whole life. I have no concept of what it was like without pain. It's a miracle. I'm totally thrilled.
No pain, no limits.
Dr. Wagner gave me the green light to ski again this year. I'm like, that's incredible. So I'm just so excited.
After years of surgeries and setbacks, Lynn finally got her freedom back.
I think he saved my legs, so saved my knees, and gave me at least another 10, 15 years to do what I wanted to.
If joint pain is holding you back, find out what stem cell therapy could do for you with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from Les. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
You know, this is one of those topics that no one really wants to think about, but if you're a parent, a homeowner, married, or helping take care of aging parents, it's something that honestly deserves a little attention. I'm talking about estate planning. And before you tune out thinking it's complicated or expensive, that's actually why I want to mention Trust and Will. Trust and Will makes estate planning feel way less intimidating than it sounds. They offer modern, attorney-designed wills and trusts that you can create online. And the process is surprisingly straightforward. In fact, you can create a will in as little as 30 minutes. That includes things like guardianship for your kids or pets, how your assets are distributed, and even healthcare directives. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones with Trust and Will, the most trusted name in online estate planning. Go to trustandwill.com/plan to get 20% off. That's trustandwill.com/plan for 20% off. trustandwill.com/PLAN.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
that's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchie's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life?
For as long as you're an A-List member. You get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchie's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchie.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. DayandNight.net. Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. DayandNight.net.
It's the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning, everybody. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Ursula, what you got?
Well, we started talking about are things changing with ICE? Has President Trump changed his stance on this? Theo in South Seattle said, Gee, you hit the nail on the head when you said these things, immigration control, hate, division, are happening because too many of us are keeping quiet. It happens in both major parties. Liberals and some conservatives were quiet when our borders were far too open, and now conservatives are quiet with the overreach of ICE. Both parties are happy when we are a divided population. A divided population is an easily manipulated one. I don't know what the answer is, other than the quiet majority needs to stand up and fight for equality, fairness, and justice.
Pat Port Orchard says, I'm encouraged by 3 Republicans calling for an investigation into the shooting of Alex Petty, but can't help but ask, what about the rest of them? Are they okay with what the videos show? All of Congress should be calling for an investigation and oversight. Can I answer that? Hey, Pat, money is still flowing.
And as long as that is the objective, it's very hard for some.
Yes, ma'am.
Amazon Fresh stores closing. Cletus and Federal Way says Amazon Fresh and Federal Way was amazing. Was sad when it closed. Shopping was nice.
Kevin in Black Diamond says, I'm glad to see Amazon Grocery go away. We need to go back to supporting small and local whenever possible. Not accepting cash only makes the banks richer.
Ann in Renton says, I'm not surprised they're closing. My mom and I went in once, and that was enough. It was a weird experience. No atmosphere, no music, just a creepy feeling of being watched. And when we looked up, there were cameras everywhere. It felt Orwellian. Also, we had a difficult time entering, and one option they gave us was to use our fingerprint. Teatro Zinzani closing.
Well, yeah. Stephen in Stanwood says, what? Tetro? That's so sad. I've been to the last 2 shows and we're so good.
Yeah, and Kevin in Seattle says, this makes me so sad, Ursula. My old friend and Seattle music legend Norman Durkee was the music director for years. He passed too soon back in 2014.
Seattle is the most expensive city to throw a Super Bowl party. JLV in Puyallup says, if I host a party, I'm already providing the space. I may provide pizza or some chicken, but I expect people to bring things. Potluck rules.
Okay, question. Do you just tell people automatically what to bring, or do you wait for them to ask?
No, you tell people what to bring.
You're like, okay.
Yeah, like, hey, we're having this. I'm making beef ribs.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I like that. Yeah. If I'm going to ask them to bring something, I will just say it directly.
Right.
Okay, Robin Puyallup says, Super Bowl food checklist, wings, check. Chips, check. Drinks, check. Spicy meatballs, check. And for G, third bathroom in another part of the house, check.
You guys
might have to bring back the meatball story.
You guys will never forget the spicy meatball story, huh?
Yeah,
The status of the middle class. Crystal in Tacoma says middle class equals making too much money to get any assistance, but not making enough money to be comfortable. Ooh, hot take.
And then we had a bunch of people texting in about what do you need at the party? And Irene from Tacoma, you agree with her. You said there are never too many deviled eggs.
I love deviled eggs. Ursula, it's time for Words to Live By. What you got for us?
This is a quote from William Faulkner, who is was a Nobel laureate and author. Never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty and truth and compassion against injustice and lying and greed. If people all over the world would do that, it would really change the earth.
That's true. Good stuff. Nick.
Well, it was bittersweet to hear the news of our friend Rick, who'll be hanging up the mic where he helped build games brick for brick. But I'm glad he now can spend more time discovering different wins, like maybe trying out those e-bikes folks take for a spin. Although for his own sake, I'd like to keep him safe and sound and maybe dodge those speed machines to still have him around. How about we make some Super Bowl charcuterie boards at my place instead?
Ooh, charcuterie boards. Layla, thank you for bringing one to my party.
All right, Ursula.
Thank you.
All right.
We're going to do this tomorrow.
Do this tomorrow, absolutely. Thanks, Paul.
Happy to be here.
Paul,
Thank you.
Paul, what is that sweatshirt?
Oh, it's an internet comedy group, and they do a lot of vintage-style clothes. So this one's inspired by old VHSs.
Hence the reason we had that topic today on the show.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Hey, a lot of people texted in about that one, too.
Yeah, a lot of Paul's buttons.
Scarecrow, saved.
Hey, thanks, Nick.
You too, man.
Hey, the Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. Make sure you stick around. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Now you come around, signifying a woman. You don't want to let me ride. A strange Saturday night, baby.
The John Curley Show.
If you do get tickets and you are lucky to be able to go,
Weekdays 3 to 7.
you have to stand the whole time. We are actually affecting the game. I took Rye to a game last year, and we were really disappointed. The people are sitting the whole time. Rye goes, I'm standing the whole game. I don't get people behind me. Too bad. Too bad. I'm here for the game. You know, what are you out there dating your sister?
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube. Weekdays 3 to 7. And download the KIRO Newsradio app.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-507-9701. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-507-9701. That's 800-507-9701. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
File your taxes for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. File on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Valid for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/radio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/radio for 55% off.
KIRO FM.